each other, which makes this opening game so very important. As we welcome you to a new NFL season, I'm Dick Stockton along with Hank Stram. And Hank, the Cardinals finished as one of the hottest teams in the league last year with a terrific defense, particularly a great pass rush.
Well, they did an excellent job last year, but they're going to have a big job today. And the big point is going to be they must flush Lynn Dickey out of the pocket if they're going to enjoy any success this afternoon.
Forrest Gregg inherits as good a passing offense as you'd ever want, except that everything the Packers are trying to do to help themselves is on defense.
Yes, and they have the same kind of a problem in that Lomax they must keep in the pocket because he's such a great scrambler, has great escapability skill. I talked to both coaches before the game. Both coaches expressed a feeling that they had to run the ball 40 times and pass it 25.
All right, the Cardinals have won the toss, and they have elected to receive. And there is Eddie Garcia, who has inherited the kicking job from Jan Stenerud. Steve Bird is in the middle, back deep for the Cardinals in the white uniforms. Willard Harrell and Randy Love are also back, and we're underway for the NFL season. Bobbled in the end zone by Bird, brings it out, and still going past the 20, and he really recovered fast as Bird brings it out to the 24-yard line where Ed West makes the tackle. The offense for the Cardinals. And question mark prior to the game, he's going to play. Otis Anderson, who's been hampered with a hamstring, will start at running back, one of the best in the NFL. Roy Green, the deep threat. And the offensive line for the Cardinals, Louis Sharp. He's the man to watch. They think he's going to be a good one. Doug Marsh is the tight end. At the 24, 1st and 10 for Neil Lomax in his 4th year. Getting better all the time and more assured. And here's Otis Anderson. Picks up almost 5 yards on the play. Randy Scott makes the tackle. The Packers defense, and they're starting 2 rookies up front. Alfonso Carricker and Donnie Humphrey at the ends. Terry Jones, the nose tackle. The linebackers, and a good bunch, led by Anderson and Douglas outside. And a secondary also featuring a rookie in Tom Flynn, a free safety out of Pittsburgh. It'll be 2nd and 5 now for the Cardinals.
Starting with a double tight end offense, and now they change with a 2-back system. And let's see what they do on the second play of the game.
Earl Farrell, number 31, is the lead man, the blocking fullback, as Otis Anderson charges forward and has a first down. Otis Anderson, who gained 100 yards in 5 of his last 8 games last season, has really become a leader on this ball club now, Hank.
Yeah, we talked to him yesterday afternoon, and it was kind of fun to visit with him, and he expressed a lot of confidence in his football team and also in himself. And he felt very strongly about the fact that they could have a good year, and he said very modestly, providing I can play all the time.
Of course, Stump Mitchell behind him say, what about me? Of course, Mitchell's pretty good backup. So it's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. For the Cardinals in white, in motion is Roy Green. Going to the air for the first time in 84. Lomax dumps it off to Earl Farrell. Farrell has another first down into Packer territory and brought down at the 45-yard line. Tackle made by the left cornerback, Mark Lee.
This is where Neil Lomax has really grown up in the last couple of years. Before, in that kind of a situation with pressure, he'd like to take off and run the ball, but this time he stayed in the pocket. Here he is, a play-action fake. Look, he stays in the pocket, pressured, and he dumps the ball off to Farrell, who makes a good move in the open field, licks Mark Murphy, and he finally tackled downfield, but it's a good play on the part of Neil Lomax.
2 tight ends in there now. Doug Marsh, the starter, and Greg LaFleur, number 89. At the Packer 44, Earl Farrell is a good receiver. He won that fullback job. Here's Anderson going outside, and John Anderson. Otis tackled by John Anderson, who has been the top player on defense for the Packers the last couple of years, all over the field, and really one of the best in that group. John Anderson, who had a fractured arm each of his first 3 years in the NFL.
And they're not doing anything fancy, Dick. All they're doing is putting a hat on everybody, 7-on-7, trying to get some kind of a seam, some kind of a crack for Anderson to read the daylight and get as much out of the play as he can.
Pickup of 1 on the play. In motion is the tight end Marsh. Going back the other way. Lomax under pressure, and he's down. No one picked up Alfonso Carricker. The #1 draft pick out of Florida State. Now you know why the Packers drafted him #1. That's exactly what they need from their defensive front.
They're talking about keeping him in the pocket. 6'6", 260 from Florida State. Here he comes on the outside, and the offensive tackle did not. Tootie Robbins did not touch him at all. Looked like a screen pass.
So a loss on the play sends it back to the 49-yard line of the Packers. It'll be 3rd down and 15. And passing situation now for the Cardinals. And the Packers go into their nickel. Estes Hood, number 38, is the nickel back. And the shotgun for Lomax.
They got 1-for-1 coverage, and they're going to try to go deep.
Out to Tilley. And Tilley goes nowhere. Tim Lewis puts him in a bear hug. And he is down at the 41-yard line. And it'll be 4th down for the Cardinals.
I'm surprised they threw the ball short in that situation, Dick. They had bump and run, man-for-man coverage on the outside. And in that situation, you like to throw the ball deep.
And the crowd for the Packer defense. They love them. So it's 4th down, and Otis Birdsong, Carl Birdsong, will be in to punt for the Cardinals. He was a Pro Bowl punter last year in the NFC, and Philip Epps, who's the fastest man for the Packers, back at the 10-yard line. You figure, Hank, anything the Packers do on defense with that great offense is going to be a big plus for them.
And they're all talking about how much more aggressive they seem to be this year than they were a year ago. Plus the fact they have a lot more healthy people playing than they did a year ago.
Epps inside the 10. Penalty flag is down, and he is dropped at the 5. And they looked aggressive in that first series. But we'll see what the penalty is. Stump Mitchell made the tackle on Philip Epps. Ben Dreith is our referee today. And a legal procedure against the Cardinals. The Packers will gladly take that penalty and force Birdsong to kick again. In Jim Hanifin, in his 5th year, he has brought the team along.
On a kicking team, 5 men in the backfield.
The illegal formation penalty will have Birdsong kicking again. They're the officials today, and as we said, Ben Dreith, the referee. Cardinals, after a 1-5 start last year, finished 7-2-1 to have high hopes coming into this year. In fact, they were the last team to beat the world champion Raiders. Epps is deep.
Epps made a mistake last time trying to catch the ball on the 5-yard line. He ought to make, he's standing on the 10, anything over the top of his head, he ought to just forget about it and take the chances of it letting it go into the end zone.
Long count, they get it down to 7. Birdsong booms it high, and now Epps will let it drop at the 1, and it bounces onto the field, and it's down by the Cardinals at the 1-yard line, and now they say it went into the end zone for a touchback. The Cardinals don't agree, but when we come back, the Packers will take it out at the 20-yard line. It's a touchback. So the Packers will go on offense at 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line with 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Dick Stockton and Hank Stram. Sellout crowd at Lambeau Field. We'll run down the Packers offense after this first play. Lynn Dickey is the quarterback. And he gives to Gary Ellis, who dives forward to the 26-yard line. Ellis, of course, is the tailback. Jesse Clark, the fullback, along with Dickey. But the great receivers, Lofton and Jefferson outside. Tight end is Paul Kaufman, one of the best in the league. And the offensive line, Tim Huffman, is starting in place of Greg Cook, who has a back injury. Huffman, number 74.
And he'll have quite a job pass blocking on Al Baker, who is a tremendous defensive end and a great pass rusher, number 60.
And Harlan Huckabee has come in for Ellis after that first play. So Dickey at the line, 2nd down and 4. Here's Huckabee. On a delay, Huckabee driving it out, has a first down just beyond the 30-yard line. Bob Harris makes the tackle for the Cardinals. A good defensive team with a terrific pressure from the front 4. Bubba Baker and Curtis Greer, 2 of the better outside ends. Grooms and Galloway at the tackle. Harris, who made the tackle. E.J. Jr. moved from the middle to the strong side. Kurt Allerman is playing in the middle, and the secondary led by the terrific Lionel Washington, who had 8 interceptions last year. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. They're shuttling in the backs with the play, so Ellis is back in there, and Dickey with his first toss complete to James Lofton, close to a first down. Wayne Smith covering him on the play. Terrific athletic skills by James Lofton.
One thing we're going to see a lot of here this afternoon, I think they're going to pick on number 44, Wayne Smith, as much as they possibly can. Here you see Lofton getting off the ball, breaking to the outside, turns his head quickly. The ball is right on the numbers, and a completed pass. But they're going to work on Wayne Smith, I assure you. They'll throw in front of him a little bit early and then try to do business deep.
Lofton, Pro Bowl 4 years in a row. No one complains about that. 2nd down and 1. He picked up 9 on the play. Here's a blitz, and here's Huckleby, who has the 1st down and more in the Cardinal territory at the 49. Good call against the defense, Henry.
Talking to Bob Schnelker yesterday, the thing he said they wanted to do was run straight at the Cardinals because they do a lot of stunning. Here you see him. He's going to go straight ahead on the left side. They block down, and he reads the block of the offensive tackle, breaks to the outside, but he makes a nice gain on the play, but a good read on the part of the halfback.
And a 1st down for the Packers at the Cardinal 49. Dickey needs that good protection, and almost an interception. Almost an interception by E.J. Jr. coming over. That was not a good pass by Lynn Dickey. The New England Patriots have jumped up ahead of the Buffalo Bills 7-0 in the 1st quarter. The Chicago Bears in front of Tampa Bay 3-0. 2nd down and 10 at the 49.
E.J. Jr. should have intercepted that pass. They've got so much, you know, sometimes it's difficult for the defensive people. They have so much tape and stuff on their hands that they really cannot get good control of the football, and I think possibly that happened on the last play.
Lee Nelson is into the game as a nickel back for the Cardinals. He lost his strong safety position spot to Leonard Thompson. And now a timeout has been called by the Packers. So a timeout, 8:22 remaining in the 1st quarter. Nope. Forrest Gregg says coming back to Green Bay is like going back to your alma mater. He likes Green Bay. It's the only game in town. And, of course, everyone here is in a fishbowl, particularly the head coach. And a fellow across the street from Lambeau Field even put up a fence to welcome back Forrest Gregg.
I wonder how many other fences and how many other signs were on that fence before Forrest got here.
The question is, does it say welcome back or adios Bart Starr behind that, who, of course, was Forrest Gregg's predecessor here in Green Bay?
I forgot to look on the other side of the fence. I think it's reversible.
You notice it's a picket fence, and you can turn those things around.
That's right.
Anyway, Forrest Gregg is glad to be here, and, of course, he is a no-nonsense head coach. 2nd down and 10 at the 49 with 8:22 to go in the 1st quarter. Here's Gary Ellis looking for a hole, finding nothing, and good defense pressure by David Galloway, who's bounced back from a disappointing year last year. Galloway, number 65.
See the linebackers reacting to the play. Larry McCarron trying to block Callaway, but he does not succeed in doing it. And, of course, Callaway gets good pursuit angle and makes the play.
A very good front four. Galloway's pretty good pass rusher for an inside player. 3rd down and 14. Philip Epps comes in. Number 85 is the 3rd wide receiver for the Packers. Dickey. Pass. Not even close.
They had man-for-man coverage that time, and Dickey was trying to hit the guy in the slot, and Victor Heflin, number 46, was covering, but in the process of making his move to the outside, he slipped and fell, and that's why the ball was thrown awry and falls incomplete.
So Lynn Dickey, who threw 32 touchdown passes last year, but also threw 29 interceptions, something he'd like to improve upon, misses on that 3rd down play. So it's 4th down, and Bucky Scribner is in to punt for the Packers. He'll be kicking to Steve Bird. Scribner was 3rd in the conference last year, averaging over 41.5 yards per kick. Left footer. Fair catch called for by Bird as the ball goes into the end zone for a touchback. So the defenses have held, and that's what Hank Stram was talking about at the top of this broadcast. 7:26 will be coming back with the Cardinals on our back. No score in the 1st quarter. It rained all day yesterday and all morning here in the Green Bay area, but they covered the field, and the field is in excellent condition. Of course, it's a grass field, and they have taken great pride in that over the years here in Green Bay. At the 21st and 10, Roy Green in motion for the Cardinals. Anderson. And it was Mark Murphy came up from strong safety to make a fine play on Otis Anderson. Murphy is playing at strong safety. Johnny Gray, who was slated to start, is out for 4 weeks on injured reserve.
You know, the other observation we ought to make here early, too, Dick, is the fact that the St. Louis Cardinals practice and play on synthetic turf. I think it's a lot more difficult to go from synthetic turf to a grass field than it is to go the other way. And I think it makes a running back psychologically feel a little slower on grass than it does on synthetic turf.
Especially a runner like Otis Anderson. 2nd and 9 at the 21-yard line. Marsh moving in motion. Going deep for Roy Green. He's got the defense beaten, and he makes the catch. And a difficult catch at that to the 45-yard line. Mark Lee defending, but he could not keep up with Roy Green, who had 78 catches last year, tied for the NFC lead.
They send a man in motion across the formation. They throw the ball deep. Look, he sets up nicely. Plenty of time to throw the ball. And it looked like that Lee expected help deep outside. He did not get it from a safety man, and for that reason, why Roy Green was able to run right by him and make a very outstanding catch.
35-yard play. Roy Green, who caught 14 touchdown passes last year, and the Pro Bowl invitation followed. Converted defensive back. Cardinals have another one of those in Cedric Macklin. 1st and 10 at the 44. Screen pass to Tilley. His first reception, but only picks up 3 yards, and the Packers played that well. Tackle made by John Anderson and Mark Lee. Gain of 3.
You know, the other interesting thing about this Green Bay defense, last year the linebackers were about 5 yards deep. I'm talking about 52 and 55. This year they're lining up about 3 yards deep, and they wanted to be more aggressive and be able to take on the offensive guards a lot better than they did last year. And so far, it looks like they're doing a good job.
Forrest Gregg likes aggressive people, and that's what he has. Otis Anderson tripping up. He had Louis Sharp in front of him, but again, Mark Murphy forcing the play makes the tackle. Actually, the Packers secondary did well enough against the pass last year, but with Ken Riley, who retired after 15 years playing for Forrest Gregg at Cincinnati, has worked on, and that is against the run support.
You know, that time, Louis Sharp, the left tackle, number 67, who weighs 260 pounds, he got out there in good position to make the play on Murphy, but he was so high that he couldn't adjust the move of Murphy and missed the block.
So the unusual 5 points for Atlanta, leading the Saints 5-0. 3rd down and 7 at the 41.
They got 1-for-1 coverage now. See if they try to do something on top.
Robert Brown in the game as a 4th defensive lineman. The pass is caught by Tilley. Penalty marker down. Tilley has a 1st down for the Cardinals at the 33-yard line. John Anderson tackled him there, but there's a penalty marker right about the line of scrimmage.
And that usually means holding.
And that's what Ben Dreith indicates against the Cardinals, so a 1st down is nullified.
You know, that time Green Bay did a good job of disguising the defense. It looked like they were going to be in man-for-man coverage. And then on the snap of the ball,
71.
on the snap of the ball, then they went into a zone which made the middle area vacated, very open, and they hit the spot. But, of course, there was a holding penalty on the play.
It was Joe Bostic, the right guard, who's in his 6th season. The Detroit Lions against the San Francisco 49ers. You remember they met in the playoffs last year, and the Lions have jumped up ahead of the 49ers 7-0 in the 1st quarter. 3rd down and 17 now. Estes Hood is in as the nickel back for the Packers. Pressure on Lomax, and he's got a scamper. He's got some room. And right behind him was Charles Martin. And once again, the Green Bay Packers are showing an aggressiveness on defense that they haven't showed in several years. And it was a free agent, Charles Martin, who chased down Neil Lomax.
And that's the point we made earlier. Watch number 94, the left defensive, and there he is. He works to the inside, and watch him come right down, an excellent pursuit angle. Look at him come. 94, Charlie Martin, and he gets the hook on him and brings him down from behind. But excellent play by Charlie Martin, number 94. But we talked about that earlier. We said that you have to keep Lomax in the pocket. That time, they let him escape.
So Carl Birdsong punting to Philip Epps once again. We have 5:03 remaining in the 1st quarter. Still no score. A lot of people predicted this to be a high-scoring affair, and of course it still might be. Fake.
Look at this.
And there is Stump Mitchell running for the 1st down on the fake inside the 20-yard line and out of bounds. So they caught the Packers napping. And Stump Mitchell on the fake, the short man, runs the ball to the 16-yard line and a 1st down. where he's chased out of bounds by rookie John Dorsey. So a little razzle-dazzle here in the first quarter of this new season, Hank.
And it's a good place to run that kind of a play in that position on the field. Watch it. He's the up back. It looks like they're going to kick the ball. There he gets the direct pass. There's a big hole on the right side, and he's, of course, a great runner. Makes a good move on the outside, makes a tackler miss, and he's finally knocked out of bounds. But not until after he makes the necessary yardage for the first down.
Stump Mitchell is shaken up over on the far sideline and is still over there. Meanwhile, it is 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Here's Otis Anderson going outside, and once again, Mark Murphy. It was Douglas first, and Murphy made sure Otis Anderson wouldn't turn the corner. And Murphy's having himself quite a first quarter. And the Packers trying to tighten up the defense after Mitchell ran 25 yards on that fake punt.
And Donnie Humphrey that time looked like he responded very, very well to the block of the offensive tackle, Louis Sharp. And he played the outside position and skated with the offensive tackle and made an outstanding play along with Mark Murphy, number 37.
A loss of 3. 2nd down, 13. The ball is on the 18-yard line now. Earl Farrell is the up back, number 31.
Well, they got a lot of room on the right side from a passing standpoint. They go left.
Anderson gets it back to the line of scrimmage. And once again, the Packers hold Randy Scott. It'll be a 3rd down play. Randy Scott, who had a knee injury in the opening game last year and came back for the last 4 out of Alabama, and a very good run defender, an inside linebacker for the Packers.
You know, that time, Dick, they had 2-on-2 on the right side. They had a slot formation, 2-on-2 on the right side. It looked like it would have been an opportunity to do some business on the right side, but they chose to run left and were stuffed on the line of scrimmage with Anderson carrying the ball.
So now Neil Lomax faces 3rd and 9. He has Stump Mitchell and Willard Harrell into the ball game now.
They got 1-on-1 on the outside again.
Cedric Mack, number 47, is in the ball game.
There he goes.
This passes to Tilley. Tilley inside the 5. And did he get over? He did. It's a touchdown for the Cardinals. A crossing pattern to Pat Tilley. And Neil Lomax hits him for the touchdown to give the Cardinals the lead.
Here they're in a spread formation. They pick up the blitzes in good shape. Plenty of time to throw the ball. Here's Pat Tilley breaking to the outside. I mentioned it on the preceding play. They evidently came right back in the huddle and said, we can do something on that right side. Here it is again. Good protection. He throws outside to Pat Tilley, makes an outside move, and he goes in for the touchdown. They go ahead 6-0.
Well, they use him a little less frequently with the arrival of Roy Green as a speedster, but he's still reliable. So Neil O'Donohue with Benny Perrin holding will try the conversion. The penalty flag is down. The kick is no good, but there is a penalty. The kick was off to the left, but a flag is down. O'Donohue struggled last year as a place kicker for the Cardinals.
Defense offside.
And he's going to get another chance to kick the conversion. The Packers were offside. So O'Donohue, who last year had a rough time, particularly on a Monday night, you remember, against the Giants when he missed 3 field goals in overtime.
I thought that game was never going to end. It looked like we were up there for 3 days.
And O'Donohue wanted to make sure you were going to be there for 3 days. He came back the next week, though.
And he was lucky enough to stay for 3 more days.
He kicked 2 long ones against the Vikings. So now he's going to get another chance. Perrin, of course, holding. Neil O'Donohue, 6'6". See if he makes good on this one. Not a good snap, but the kick is good. And with 3 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it's the Cardinals who take the lead as Pat Tilley catches a 15-yard touchdown pass from Neil Lomax. O'Donohue will kick off for the Cardinals, who lead at 7-0. Deep for the Packers. Del Rogers on the left and Harlan Huckleby on the right. Rogers, coming back from a neck injury, had a terrific preseason, including a 96-yard touchdown return against the Rams. It's going to Rogers at the 6-yard line. Following his blockers, Rogers to the 20 and tackled at the 25-yard line by Bill Kay, who was picked up this week from Houston. Here's the scoring drive for the Cardinals. 10 plays and 80 yards. And capped by the 14-yard touchdown pass to Tilley.
And now we see the replay. Cedric Mack on the outside, Tilley to the inside, number 83, man-for-man coverage. They just work on the 2-on-2, very simple. Break to the outside, makes the catch. twinkle toes into the end zone, touchdown. They go ahead 7-0.
Good description for Pat Tilley. So Lynn Dickey bringing his club out, 12th year, coming off his most productive year. Gary Ellis tackled for a loss. Inside the 25, Curtis Greer making the tackle. But Ellis has been a versatile performer for the Packers. Moved from fullback to tailback last year and was Green Bay's leading rusher, although he gained less than 700 yards, Hank. That's one of the things the Packers want more of, and that's the ground game.
You know, and he caught 52 passes last year, an average 11.6 per reception. The average for a back is 6 yards, average for a tight end is 12, and the average for an outside receiver is 18. So he was way above the average for a running back.
Lee Nelson is the nickel back for the Cardinals. 2nd down and 12. John Jefferson goes in motion. And here is Jesse Clark, the fullback, going wide and being tripped up by Lionel Washington. And he just barely got it out to the 29-yard line. Pick of about 4 yards. Jesse Clark made an impact last year as a 7th-round draft choice, was 2nd in rushing on the club, and a good, strong power runner.
You know, the one thing that Green Bay wanted to do, they wanted to jump on top and be ahead early in this game so they could do a good job of running the football and complementing the play-action passes. It's going to be tougher for them if they get behind by a larger margin, because then they would have to consistently throw the football, and that's tough to do against this defense.
Epps and Jefferson to the left, Lofton to the right, going to the left. It's Epps, and it's knocked away by Lee Nelson. So Dickey has not looked sharp so far in the passing department, and it'll be 4th down, and the Packers will have to punt.
The other thing that the St. Louis Cardinals are doing, they're playing a very aggressive, tight coverage in their secondary. They're playing close to the receivers, and for that reason, you have to throw the ball precisely right, or else you're out of business. And they're not playing zone. They're playing more man for man, and it makes it more difficult for Lynn Dickey to get the ball right on the money.
Bucky Scribner in his 2nd year. He's out of Kansas State. Eddie Garcia, also a 2nd-year kicker, the place kicker. Steve Bird deep for the Cardinals. Bird on a terrific punt by Scribner. Fields it inside the 20 and falls down at the 26. So that may be an example of the change from artificial surface to natural grass. 52-yard kick by Bucky Scribner. Timeout, and we'll be back to Boris Gregg in Green Bay. And of course, we pointed out he went to the Super Bowl with Cincinnati, before that the Browns, and is grateful to Paul Brown because he gave him a second chance to coach in the NFL.
He's grateful to me too, because I tried to hire him and he didn't come.
So he'll always be grateful. 1st and 10 at the 27 for Lomax. On play action, looking for Roy Green. His second choice is Stunt Mitchell out of the backfield, and Mitchell picks up 9 yards on the play. Donnie Humphrey, the rookie defensive end, makes the tackle. Other games in the National Football League. It's now 7-5. It's like a baseball score. New Orleans leading Atlanta in the opener at the Superdome. Kansas City over Pittsburgh in the first quarter of their game. Miami and Washington. That's a good duel, and the Dolphins are up 7-0 in the first quarter. More coming up after this play. 2nd and 1 for the Cardinals. Farrell has the 1st down to the 41-yard line, tackled by Mike Douglas. Other scores: New England now 14-0 over the Buffalo Bills. Rogan has thrown 2 touchdown passes. The Giants over Philadelphia 7-3 in the opening game at Giants Stadium. San Diego over Minnesota 7-3 in an interconference game, and now the 49ers have tied up the Lions 7-7 there in the second quarter at the Silverdome.
There'll be a lot of unusual scores before the afternoon is over.
Usually because it's the first week of the year?
Yeah, you never know what to expect the first week. You really don't.
1st and 10 at the 41. Roy Green goes in motion. Pitches to Stunt Mitchell on a reverse. Here's Roy Green, and he's really given ground on the reverse, and he is dumped back to the 30-yard line by Mike Douglas. But it was the defensive lineman, I think, Hank, that really forced Green deep.
Douglas did a super job of maintaining leverage. He saw the play coming. He was the policeman. He was the cop. And he gave him a ticket for speeding when he came out in this area. Here you see it again. Look at this. He gives the ball. Here he is to Green. He comes around the outside. But watch the missed tackle. But watch here. Watch Douglas. Makes a great open field tackle. It's hard to do on Green, but he does it only because he was the cop on the play, and he gave him the ticket.
Terry Jones gave him the pursuit, and Mike Douglas made the play. But that's the end of the first quarter here at Lambeau. Start of the second quarter here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Dick Stockton along with Hank Stram, with the Cardinals leading the Packers 7-0. It is 2nd down and 20 for the Cardinals following that loss on the reverse attempt by Roy Green. In motion is Doug Marsh. Lomax looks for a second receiver. Marsh the tight end, and it's knocked away by George Cumby, who made a good play defensively.
Doug Marsh, intended receiver.
Jim Hannafin was telling us yesterday, Hank, that the younger players have had a tough time believing him that they were the team because of the older pros. Even though they were backups, they were still there.
Well, anytime that you have a lot of young people and established professional people on the same team, regardless how hard you try to sell them on the idea that it's their team and they should provide the leadership, until the veterans leave, it's a very difficult thing to do. And then they finally believe the coach and they say, by gosh, he must have been serious because he got rid of the old guys and now it is our team.
And Lomax particularly feels that way. Of course, they've had a lot of veterans, including Deerdorf, leave. Penalty marker down on 3rd and 20. Stump Mitchell brings it out to the 43-yard line. Tom Flynn and Charles Martin make the tackle, and it'll be holding against St. Louis. Well, it'll be 4th down if they decline. But on the other hand, they've got a lot of yardage to go if they accept the penalty.
You know, you have to be impressed with Lomax so far in this game. He has really shown a lot of poise and has grown up tremendously. He stays in the pocket very, very well. And that's the thing he had a little problem with, but he's doing it extremely well here this afternoon.
Well, last year he threw 24 touchdown passes, only 11 interceptions, and those are the kind of numbers that championship quarterbacks have. Here's Wright.
Defensive holding, 67, decline a penalty. It's 4th down.
Louis Sharp was holding, and the Packers declined, so they want the ball.
You know, the other thing about Lomax, it's very difficult to come from a rollout personality in college and then automatically change to a pocket passer overnight. It takes time, and the time is beginning to show.
Carl Birdsong to punt. And Philip Epps is back at the 13-yard line. He's got a lot of speed. If he can get underway, he could give the Packers good field position, but he's got a long way to go. Last time the Packers were defending against the punting situation, Stump Mitchell ran for a 1st down. Good kick by Birdsong. Epps backed up to the 10-yard line. Philip Epps in a crowd batted back. So a good 46-yard punt by Birdsong, and Epps can only bring it back to the 18-yard line, where the tackle is made by rookie Martin Bayless. As Lynn Dickey, struggling so far, has completed just 1 of 4 passes for 9 yards. Why is he having so much trouble, Henry?
I think he's having a lot of trouble because they're playing very aggressively defensively. They're playing close to the receivers, not giving them a chance to get off the line of scrimmage with a very smooth release. And anytime you do that to outstanding receivers, especially Lofton, he's a long-legged guy, and it disturbs the timing of the pattern.
At the 18-yard line, Packers have gained only 30 yards total offense so far. That's unusual for them. Here's Jesse Clark pulling his way. Benny Perrin gets a hold of him, but Clark winds up with a 1st down to the 28-yard line. So Jesse Clark with a terrific gain and a 1st down for the Packers. He's 230 pounds, and of course we're looking now at a man who, when he came on as a rookie for the Cardinals at free safety, became a fixture immediately at that position. You know, Perrin had to really prove himself because he took the place of Kenny Green, who was a holdout, and a lot of veterans didn't accept him.
And the other thing is, you know, he was an All-American high school quarterback and never had a chance to play quarterback at all at Alabama. Bear Bryant recruited him as a quarterback, but he never got a chance to play. On
2nd and 1, Huckabee for the 1st down to the 30-yard line. In that San Francisco-Detroit game, in the 2nd quarter, the Lions are leading it 10-7. Chicago still leading Tampa Bay 3-0. The Bears have high hopes under Mike Ditka this year, and they're going to have to contend with the Packers and Forrest Gregg. Lynn Dickey, who last year, if you remember, in the opening game completed 18 passes in a row. Pretty good start last year, unlike this season. 1st and 10 at the 30, and John Jefferson goes in motion. Play action for Dickey. Pass to Kaufman, the tight end. The penalty marker down. Kaufman holds onto it. Leonard Smith was in a wrestling match. It looked like Greco-Roman from the Olympics for a moment there. But a penalty flag.
It looked like he might pin him, but he didn't quite get it done. But he got caught in the act.
Kaufman caught the ball.
But you talk about good coverage. Leonard Smith was all over him that time like a blanket and really did a good job of covering him. He evidently made a faux pas in the process, but we'll see what they call.
This year, the referee will tell you what the penalty is. The umpire will mark it off.
Defense, pass interference number 44. That's a first down.
It's a pass interference call on Wayne Smith, who wasn't near the play, but it's a pass interference on the defense and an automatic first down.
Watch Jefferson go in motion, then he breaks across the field. There's number 44. It was. They evidently called. They got their feet tangled up, but that's an unusual call, Dick.
They call it first down on the pass interference penalty, and the Packers have it at the 37-yard line. Trailing 7-0. 13:08 to go in the first half. Dickey on play action. He's going to go deep for James Lofton. Double covered, makes the catch anyway. Now you know why James Lofton has no peers as a deep threat. That was 43 yards.
Watch a play action pass, and he threw the ball, and there was a safety man in the hole. Watch the safety man come into the hole. In spite of that, he was still able to outleap both the defenders and make the catch. Watch Lofton. He gets a free release. That time they're playing soft, Dick. Normally they've been playing a lot tighter, but he outleaps both defensive backs and makes a sensational catch. Talking about James Lofton. What a play.
Over 1,000 yards last year, 58 catches, averaged nearly 23 yards a reception. That was 43. And here is Gary Ellis, who is tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of about 3 yards, and good pressure by Bubba Baker and Leonard Smith.
And the guy that really came across there and slowed him down was Mike Duda, number 73, the defensive tackle, who came across and got penetration and slowed him down in his course on a counterplay to the right side. You know, one thing that the Green Bay Packers, they have to run enough to keep this defense honest, but they're going to win the football game. They got to pump it up, and they got to throw the football. That's what they do best.
Cardinals told us yesterday that they've got to stop the run and make them pass. You don't want to make them pass too much.
I wouldn't think so.
Huckabee around right in. Fights his way to the 15-yard line. It's Bob Harris and Benny Perrin combining to make the tackle. So we're seeing the St. Louis Cardinals with their defense under the microscope for the first time. They had the 6th overall defense last year, and Bob Harris coming back from knee surgery. He was an all-rookie player despite the fact that he was out a half a year with that knee injury. 3rd and 4, and the crowd urging the Packers on. They got 3 wide receivers in there.
And 5 defensive backs.
Dickey going for Jefferson. Intercepted by Benny Perrin. And that's that. So the Cardinals defense clamps down on Green Bay, and Benny Perrin picks off a Dickey pass in the end zone intended for Jefferson.
They're playing with 5 defensive backs. Look, he's got plenty of time to throw the football. Throws it over the top, but into double coverage, and Benny Perrin, he didn't see him coming in from the center field position. He makes it sensational interception, sucks it right up.
Cardinals with an interception by Benny Perrin and giving Neil Lomax the ball 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Lomax has completed 7 of 8 for 104 yards. As Hank mentioned, he has been very alert and very sharp so far. Here's Otis Anderson. Upended. Right at the line by Alfonso Carricker. What a play by the rookie, who was slowed by a knee injury early in preseason and only saw his first real action in the final preseason game against the Colts.
You know what was so impressive about that play? Carricker is 6'6", 260, and he got very, very low to make that play, which is very hard for a tall guy to do, but he got underneath it all and provided a good surge and hit him well with the shoulder pads and made a great tackle.
Bill Neal is in the game at nose tackle, the former New York Giant, number 77 for the Packers. 2nd down and 8. And here's Anderson trying to go left. Anderson head down, drives it out to the 26-yard line, and Randy Scott and George Cumbie, 2 inside linebackers, pursuing well on the play. That's the Packers' strength on defense, their linebacking.
Now watch the linebackers, Randy Scott 55 and Cumbie 52. They're a little tighter, as I mentioned earlier, and look at Randy Scott 55, gets into the gap, takes a good pursuit angle, and makes a good tackle from the inside out, wraps his arms around the ball carrier, Anderson, and really does what you're supposed to do, or he did what he's supposed to do as far as pursuit is concerned.
I keep thinking what you said before about going from the artificial surface to the grass, and I think Otis Anderson is looking like he's running in molasses right now.
Well, I think anytime you go from synthetic turf to turf, it's like running in quicksand.
3rd and 4. Lomax to the air, completes the pass to Tilley, and Tilley may have a first down. He does. Out to the 32-yard line. Tim Lewis makes the tackle. An old reliable, a skilled receiver, Pat Tilley, who still caught 44 passes last year. First down, St. Louis. We have 9:08 remaining in the first half. Cardinals scored in the first quarter when Lomax hit Tilley on a crossing pattern, 14 yards for the touchdown, and the only score we've had.
You know, Tilley is very quick. He doesn't have great speed, but deceptive speed, and he averaged 15.7 per catch last year.
He's caught 5 so far in this game, Hank. Lomax up the middle, intercepted. Tom Flynn, the rookie, brings it back to the 30. And listen to the crowd. Now we have a flag, a late hit. And now the teams are getting really testy over at the sideline. Neil Lomax made the hit, and somebody hit Lomax.
And Lomax better get out of that traffic and get away from the mob. But watch this now. They have a strong safety blitz in Mark Murphy, number 37. I don't know whether you see him coming from the outside, but he throws it right into the folks. Number 41, Tom Flynn, makes the interception. He didn't see him. He's the free safety and goes down the far sideline. Plus, they tack on another penalty for unnecessary roughness on the sideline. So the Green Bay Packers now have possession on the plus 15.
Unnecessary roughness, late hit out of bounds, number 15. That's a first down.
They called the penalty on Neil Lomax. How often do you see unnecessary roughness called against the quarterback?
There's Flynn coming in for the interception. They were trying to throw the ball inside to the slot man. He makes the interception, goes down the sideline, and watch if we can see Lomax. Here he comes, 15. We don't see it.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. A 20-yard return on the interception by Flynn, and then the penalty. Penalty markers go. Dickey's pass for Kaufman overthrown. But let's see if the Cardinals jumped offside. Bubba Baker might have jumped. Lomax called for unnecessary roughness. Out of frustration, perhaps, Hank?
Well, I'm sure that's what happened. Watch this. Watch Flynn. He's got running the ball down. Now watch Lomax come in, and he grabs him by the shirt and turns him around and throws him to the turf. Nothing really, kind of a boys will be boys thing, but I think it's more a frustration on the part of Lomax than anything else.
Boys will be boys unless you have a striped shirt around.
Yeah, that's right.
Different story.
Better not let them see it.
Bubba Baker called for the offside, so now it's 1st and 5 at the 10-yard line. Packers threatening with 8:34 to go in the first half, trailing 7-0.
The outside receivers have bump and run. Here they run the
Huckabee
ball.
inside the 5 has a first down for the Packers. That's a quick opener by Harlan Huckabee, who's a 5-year player out of Michigan and a capable backup. But watch the good block by Larry McCarron, the center.
You see, and Drexler also does a good job. Number 61, the left guard. He makes something happen along with Larry McCarron, and he pops right through there till about the 3-yard line.
So it is 1st and goal at the 3. And you've heard the crowd erupt on the Packers' defensive play so far. You'll really hear them if Green Bay scores.
We might do something right here.
It is right. Gary Ellis diving close and stopped short of the goal line. Tackled by Kurt Allerman and E.J. Jr., 2 linebackers. Just short of a touchdown.
Here we see him running right. The backs were lined up evenly that time. Jesse Clark out in front, throws a block. And the ball carrier, Ellis, goes inside and tries to get as much out of the play as he possibly can. Really kind of goes into the pile and kind of comes out the other end.
So it's 2nd and goal right there at the 1. Huckabee and Clark are the running backs. And it's Clark. Stop. Touchdown. Oh, he's over. Touchdown, Packers. He just broke the plane of the goal line, and Jesse Clark has scored the Packers' first touchdown of the season.
It's a straight-ahead surge. Watch the surge of the offensive lineman. They have to get good and low and get some kind of movement. They have to push the pile back, and he gets, boy, that was very close. That ball did not. That ball did not touch the plane, Dick. It didn't look like it touched the plane at all, and it didn't look like it was a touchdown from here.
It looked, of course, from our angle that it wasn't even close, but the officials signaled a touchdown, so it is 7-6. And Eddie Garcia, in his second year from SMU, who has taken over the kicking duties from the veteran Jan Stenerud, who was traded to the Minnesota Vikings and has never kicked a field goal in a regular season game. Now the officials are conferring. And there's confirming that it was a touchdown, but our replay showed no way.
It looks like a bad call, Dick. It really does.
Holding will be Scribner, and here is Eddie Garcia. Trying to tie the ball game.
They want to get the kickoff in 1-3 or less.
Kick is good. Let's take a look now at Jesse Clark. Did he go over or didn't he?
Here, let's take a look at it again. Here's the surge. Now watch him. He did not. The ball did not come close to coming over or touching the line. It was not a touchdown.
But it's 7-7 on the board. 7 here in the second quarter with 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And Eddie Garcia, who added the 7th point, capped a 4-play, 15-yard drive in what from our replay was a controversial touchdown. But it is 7-7 indeed. Steve Bird is deep. The middle man a yard in the end zone, bringing it out. Runs into his own player, Heflin, and is tackled at the 17-yard line. Well, don't forget, immediately following the conclusion of this game, CBS Sports coverage of the U.S. Open Tennis Championships will continue, and you'll see third-seeded Jimmy Connors go against Andre Lecomte. This is a third-round match from Flushing Meadow, New York. Lecomte was the last man to beat Bjorn Borg. So that could be a trivia question down the line, Henry, but it'll be Connors and Lecomte.
Get a sore neck looking at that one, too.
Well, those serve and volley guys give you a little bit chance to get your neck back, don't they?
That's right. You need a massage.
With the women, it's a little different.
Need a massage.
1st and 10 at the 18. Randy Love is now in at fullback, number 40 for the Cardinals. Green is in motion, and here is Otis Anderson. A little better acceleration that time, but carries it out to the 21, a pickup of 3, and Bill Neal makes the tackle. Interesting story about Bill Neal. He's in his 4th year with the in the National Football League and was picked up on waivers from the New York Giants, number 77. He's coming back from a lot of knee rehabilitation. But when the Giants last make the playoffs in '81, he was a starter and played very well.
He gives you everything he has, and he dances every dance. He's a good one.
Surprised the Giants gave up on him?
Yep.
Here is Anderson, hit immediately by Randy Scott on 2nd and 7. Pickup of a yard, and that's all. I think the Packers are really gearing towards Otis Anderson, who has picked up 23 yards and 11 carries so far.
And I think he's having a little difficulty. I think that leg is still sore. Plus the fact that I don't think he particularly likes to run on natural grass, especially this grass. It's very soft and slow.
He could pass Leroy Kelly and move into the number 11 spot in NFL rushing history if he gains a little over 1,000 yards this year. He's out of the ball game. Stump Mitchell is in there along with Willard Harrell, 3rd and 5. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Lomax going for Roy Green. Incomplete. Covered on the play by Mark Murphy and the nickelback Estes Hood. So Green, who caught a 35-yard pass earlier prior to the touchdown, it'll be 4th down now.
That time they threw into double coverage, and they tried to sell him on the idea they were going to go in the middle, and that's where you usually like to throw against that coverage. But he broke it to the outside. The ball was thrown just a little bit too high, but Green really made a good move, and he was open on the play.
There's Philip Epps, who will be on the receiving end of Carl Birdsong's punt. Birdsong has never had a punt blocked in his career. Not that we want to jinx him here, man.
Well, that's usually what happens when you say that kind of a thing. Why usually something bad happens.
Not that time.
No.
He gets it off. Epps at the 39. Gets by a couple. Gets into Cardinal territory to the 48-yard line. And good field position. Bayless makes the tackle on a 38-yard punt and a good return by Philip Epps. We'll be back. And has had 2 straight winning years. And, of course, if the Cardinals are going to make hay in the NFC East, they're going to have to at least split against Dallas and Washington this year.
That's their feeling, and if they can do that, well, I think they got a good chance. I think Green Bay has to throw the ball a little bit more on first down, too, especially when they have good field position.
They stick it on the ground, and it's Clark inside the 45-yard line to the 44. They're starting this on good field position. Greer and Alderman made the tackle. Let's see what's going on around the National Football League. New Orleans leading Atlanta 14-12. There was a safety in that game. Kansas City, a surprise to many, leading Pittsburgh 17-3, and Washington, after trailing Miami, now leading 10-7. New England running it up against Buffalo in the second quarter in Orchard Park. 2nd down and 5 at the 44. This could be a good passing situation for Dickey, but he keeps it on the ground, and Harlan Huckabee is hit at the line by Mark Duda. Bob Harris also combining. Duda had a lot of baby fat last year, Hank, but he has worked out with the weights, as all players are doing now, apparently, and has a different physique. He's a big, tough guy out of the University of Maryland, a 4th-round draft choice.
But the great thing about him, he's extremely good against the run. He needs a lot of work on the pass rush, but he's very efficient against the run.
3rd down and 5. You surprised Dickey hasn't gone to the air on the first 2 downs in this situation?
I am very surprised, because I think they, with the man-for-man coverage that they're seeing so much of, you have to go after the big play and try to come up with a feast or famine situation.
Pass here and complete it to Kaufman for the first down. So with a 2 tight end offense, Paul Kaufman is on the receiving end. Lee Nelson makes the tackle. One of the best tight ends in the league, number 82, right there.
Unusual thing with Dickey that time. He moved the pocket. Look, he rolls out to the right and dumps the ball off very quickly to Paul Kaufman, who makes the catch, and they move the chains, and that's what it's all about.
Dickey, not known as a mobile quarterback by any stretch. Was Kaufman, caught 11 touchdown passes last year, and has gone to the Pro Bowl the last 2 seasons.
Look at, he's got, I would think that they'd be trying to do more work on number 44, Wayne Smith, when they have good field position.
Well, they might. Lofton.
Here they go.
First down. They're going to Lofton. Lofton makes the catch at the 15. He had double coverage. Lionel Washington makes the tackle. It looks like you can throw to Lofton, and they could be 5 guys on him, and he's going to catch it anyway.
Watch a play action fake. Not a very good fake at that, but he gets plenty of time to throw the ball and throws it right down the middle. The safety man was hanging in there, but he didn't react very well, and Lofton makes the catch. A beautiful shot. Leonard Smith is there. Watch. Washington is covering from the outside. Smith is inside, but the ball is thrown right at the numbers, and that's what happens when the ball is thrown perfectly. You can't stop a perfectly thrown ball.
Dickey is 4 for 8 now for 81 yards. Passing on first down. And he's got Kaufman. He makes the catch inside the 5 and another first down. Leonard Smith defending, and Kaufman went high for that catch.
They have a slot formation to the right side, and Kaufman is one-on-one on Leonard Smith, number 45. That's the situation you like. And there he out-leaps the defensive back, Leonard Smith, and he makes the reception. But they're doing a good job of reading the coverage and throwing the ball to the right guy with 1-for-1 coverage.
13-yard pickup. So on 2 successive passes to Lofton and Kaufman, Dickey picks up 33 yards, and it's 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. 7-7 the score. Packers trying to take the lead. Dickey under pressure is dumped. And it's E.J. Jr. who makes the play, storming in. Terrific linebacker, E.J. Jr.
He blitzes. He's very quick. Gets off the ball. Number 54. There you see him. Nobody touches him. Not one soul touches him, and no way in the world for the quarterback to execute that kind of a play with that kind of pressure from the linebacker, number 54, E.J. Jr.
You know, he's known as Mr. Enforcer. He wore that T-shirt when we talked to him yesterday, and he said that Byron Braggs, his old friend, was Mr. Intimidator. And, of course, E.J. Jr. has been moved back to the middle where he's better. Had to play the outside to start the game because of the injury to Charlie Baker. He says, I wish I were twins who can play both spots.
So do the coaches.
2nd and 9. Jefferson in motion on 2nd and 9. Pass caught by Lofton. What a great athlete he is. Benny Perrin is saying, I had the ball and Lofton in my hands, and he got away. Wayne Smith ultimately made the tackle, and the ball is placed at the 4-yard line. And now we're winding down to our 2-minute warning here in the first half.
talking about E.J. Jr., you know, you asked him yesterday what E.J. stood for, and he said Esther James. Very reluctantly, he said that. And, of course, we had a lot of fun with it. And then we went on to say that here you got a team of Esther, and you got a team of Luis, and you got a Tootie and Elois Grooms.
Lynn Dickey has hit 5 of his last 6 passes, and Lofton has caught 4 for 77 already, Hank.
You know, Dickey is typical of a great quarterback. They might have some bad plays. They might have a bad quarter, but a great quarterback like Dickey will never have 4 bad quarters. And as a result, you know, even though they start slowly, they're going to surface and they're going to emerge and they're going to come back and do a good job. And that's exactly what he's done. Typifies what the outstanding quarterbacks do.
It'll be 3rd and goal at the 3-yard line. 7-7 to score. We have had our 2-minute warning. They bring Jefferson and Lofton out to the left.
They got 1-for-1 coverage on the outside receivers in the slot.
Quick toss. Hoffman, touchdown, Packers. Hoffman is catching everything today. He has caught 3 in this drive, and the Packers have taken the lead. 13-7.
Unusual. They had 1-for-1 coverage on the outside, but they also had 1-for-1 with a tight end. He makes an inside release and is finally tackled, but not until after he makes the touchdown. The thing about a tight end in that situation, Dick, you must be able to give him a good shot. You cannot let him get a free release off the line of scrimmage. They made a mistake of not jamming him, and when you don't jam him, he's going to get that kind of a release and get the ball for the touchdown.
Scribner will hold for Garcia. Is good, and the Packers lead. So this touchdown was a pretty good drive by Dickey. So after trailing 7-0, the Packers have forged in front 14-7 with 1:57 remaining in the first. 14-7. They averaged nearly 27 points last year and were 2nd in total offense in the NFL, 2nd in passing. So they scored a lot of points last year, but finished 8-8 on the year. So it's obvious what the Packers had to improve on this year, and so far their defense has looked pretty good.
I think psychologically, I think the team felt, you know, that they needed desperate help on defense, and they seemingly have helped themselves tremendously. And with that in mind, I think the offense is going to be even more productive and more relaxed because they know now they're going to get some help for the defense too, and they don't have to rely strictly on the offense.
It's a short kick, and Steve Bird on the run at the 11-yard line, trying to look for room, and he's tackled at the 21. Paul Kaufman is walking off the field. We'll try and find out what that's all about. Meanwhile, we want to tell you that on Saturday, September 15th, CBS Sports will kick off its 3rd season of college football with a game between the Washington Huskies and the Michigan Wolverines. 2 teams that made bowl appearances last season, once again expected to be among college football's best. Don James and Bo Schembechler always do a good job with their team.
Yeah, they really do. They're 2 of the outstanding coaches in collegiate football, and I had a good association with Donnie James when he was at the University of Miami.
Saturday, September 15th, noon Eastern time. College football on CBS. 1st and 10 at the 26. Lomax under huge pressure. It'll go as an incompleted pass, I think. That's the signal. Mike Douglas, with a terrific rush, made the hit on Lomax.
Green Bay would usually come with 4 people, 3 linemen and a linebacker. This time they blitzed number 53, Douglas, and watch him. Nobody touches him on the play. And along with that, number 79, Donnie Humphrey gets a piece of the ball, but they get great penetration on the play. And there's Mike Douglas right there. We had a good visit with him yesterday, and he was very optimistic, very enthusiastic about this team and the way they're playing defensively.
2nd and 10 at the 26. Marsh moving outside in motion. Lomax under pressure again, and he finds Greg LaFleur, a tight end, who is hit at the 29 again by Mike Douglas, who makes another good play. You know, the Packers linebackers are widely regarded. Of course, Anderson and Douglas outside, Scott and Cumbie inside. They are not big. They are small, relatively speaking, for linebackers, and their running backs are actually bigger. If you look at Clark and Ellis, they do the job.
But they're very active, and see, they're hard to get to, and they're hard to block, and they're very alert on pass coverage. And talking to Jim Hannafin yesterday, he said the thing that we respect more about the Green Bay Packers than anything are the linebackers.
You watch the clock. Cedric Mack, number 47, is in. He's drafted as a defensive back, played last year at that spot. 3rd down and 7. Lomax dumps it off to Stump Mitchell. And Mitchell is not going anywhere. Tim Lewis hemmed him in. They went out of bounds to stop the clock with 56 seconds to play. And there's Tim Lewis, who, by the way, was called for the excessive demonstration penalty in preseason after getting a sack on Vince Ferragamo. So, and you know what Forrest Gregg said? He said, I'm glad he got called for it.
Well, they'll teach him early. It's better to learn then than it is during the regular season.
So it's 4th down, and Birdsong will punt to Epps with 56 seconds to go in the first half. The Packers, leading 14-7, will get their hands on the ball again. Backing up to the 20 is Epps. Epps, he's off. He's got Birdsong to beat. And is tripped up by Carl Birdsong, the punter. Otherwise, Philip Epps would have gone all the way for an 80-yard touchdown. What a return.
It looked like he was going to change the scoreboard on that play. You know, the great thing about he's very decisive. He sees the hole, takes advantage of it. Looks like he's gone, and Birdsong comes in there and makes the tackle. Watch this. He gets a piece of his foot and knocks him down.
52-yard return.
Like the wonderment of a boy catching a football.
I'm Carl Birdsong at NFL St. Louis Cardinals. And there's something very special about this boy, Jeremiah Dellis. He appears to be like...
But a 39-yard return by Epps. By any number, that was a pretty good return. 1st and 10 for the Packers at the Cardinal 41. Dickey gets it away. And it's caught by Jefferson. And I think the Packers have a 1st down. In any event, the Packers may be calling a timeout, and they do. It is a 1st down to John Jefferson.
Watch Dickey. This is a fantastic play on the part of Lynn Dickey. Look, he gets back in the pocket. He gets anchored to throw the ball. Look at Galloway's in his face. Look, in spite of that, he gets pressure from the outside, and he still gets rid of the ball in good shape to John Jefferson to get a 1st down.
Timeout called at the 31.
Watch the rush. Look at, there he is. There's Callaway, number 65, gets the hook on him. But in spite of that, he throws the ball falling away to Jefferson, and he makes a great catch.
An 11-yard pickup to J.J. John Jefferson, who, according to Lou Carpenter, his receiver coach, says he's got the finest hand-eye coordination he's seen. He makes the tough 1st down catch all the time. And you know, I guess along with San Diego, this is the most prolific passing offense in the National Football League.
Oh, I think there's no question about that. This team is very outstanding. Plus the fact that the unsung hero in this passing combination is Paul Kaufman. He doesn't have great speed, but he has good moves, terrific hands, and catches everything in sight.
So there are 33 seconds remaining in the first half. The Packers have 1 timeout remaining. They're leading 14-7. Jesse Clark on a 1-yard plunge, and Dickey hitting the tight end Kaufman, and that Hank was just talking about, for 3 yards to account for the Packers scores. Here is Clark slicing off tackle, has a 1st down inside the 20-yard line. Jesse Clark, who averaged over 4.5 yards per catch per run last year, picks up 12 yards. Leonard Smith the tackle. Lining up quickly, clock running, 15 seconds to go in the half. Dickey dumps it off to Henry Chives. Let's see who makes that catch. It is Ellis, Gary Ellis out of the backfield. Bob Harris makes the tackle, and the Packers call their last timeout with 8 seconds to go, and Garcia is going to get the call now, Hank. They want to go for the field goal.
This is a good, wise move, because you don't want to wait too long to kick the field goal, because in case there's a penalty, you don't get a chance for another shot. See, a lot of times you let the clock run down to 3 or 4 seconds, you kick the field goal, but if in case something happens, you don't get a chance for the option of the penalty.
That's a good point, because obviously on a defensive penalty you get another chance, but if it's an offensive penalty and the clock runs out,
you're out of business. You're out of business. So this is a good time to call the timeout with 8 seconds rather than wait down to 3 or 4 seconds.
It'll be a 29-yard attempt. They let go and traded Jan Stenerud so that Garcia would kick. And of course, Stenerud kicked many years with you.
Well, he's he's still a great kicker, Jan Stenerud is, but I think basically Stenerud wanted to go to one of two places, a place with a dome where he could kick under good conditions, or to be able to go south someplace. He was able to go to Minnesota, and that's what he wanted, and it's better off for him. Plus the fact they have a great young kicker in Garcia, and I think he learned a right to be an outstanding kicker as they progressed during the 1984 season.
Well, he's promising but untested. Scribner will hold. This will be a 29-yard attempt. He's never kicked a field goal in an NFL game in the regular season. 29-yard attempt is no good, off to the left. So Garcia misses the field goal from 29 yards out, and the score remains 14-7.
You know, the one thing about Garcia's style is that he takes a false step backwards before he kicks the ball. Watch, if we can see, is he takes a step backwards with his right foot, and then he approaches the ball, which is a false step, kicks the ball. Looks like he got pretty good follow through, but obviously hooked the ball, went to his left, and no good.
So the Cardinals take over. 4 seconds remain in the first half. And they're just going to
the old
have
quarterback flop. The old quarterback flop play.
That'll do it. First half is over here at Lambeau Field. Sprinkling weather in the second half with the Packers leading. Harlan Huckabee winding his way, and now it's just the kicker, and now it looks like one man to beat. Knocked out of bounds, and it's Falaniko Noga, who is an 8th-round draft choice out of Hawaii, following a 53-yard return by Harlan Huckabee to start the second half, Hank.
And that's the one thing that's really murder at the second half, when you permit the other team to run the ball back with such good field position. Huckabee finds a spot on the right side. He's very decisive, which is very important. Right or wrong, as a running back, you have to make a decision and go with it. He did exactly that. He had great field position on the plus 47.
And he gained 32 yards on 6 carries, was the leading rusher in the first half for the Packers as well. On first down, Gary Ellis trying to leap a defender, does successfully, and nearly has another first down. He's close. Benny Perrin coming up from free safety to make the tackle on Gary Ellis, who, by the way, ended up with no net yards in 5 carries in the first half. Gain of 9 here. It'll be 2nd down and 1, although they were thinking of calling for a measurement, and they are.
And the great thing about the Green Bay Packers in this first half and the beginning of the second half, just a one play, they are able to run the ball just well enough to keep the defense honest, so they can establish their play action passes and get the ball downfield vertically to their outside receivers, and also in the scoring area to their tight end. That's what their plan is, and they're executing the plan extremely well.
Just short of the first down, so it'll be second and less than a yard. The total yardage was 176-158 in favor of the Packers. That was, you know, pretty close. Leading receiver was Lofton with 4 for 77 for the Cardinals. Tilly caught 4 officially for 31.
We might see a play action pass here. They like to do that in this situation. It's a waste down. Let's see if they do. No, they don't.
Jesse Clark, but he has enough for the first down, close to the 35-yard line. They only needed a couple of inches, and the Packers, playing it safe, get a first down.
Bob Schnelker, the offensive coordinator, calls the plays from the sideline, and I think he's really one of the very best in professional football.
When Forrest Gregg came over, one of the people he did keep was Schnelker, who had been here under Bart Starr, and a lot of the new people were on defense, such as Dick Modzelewski, the defensive coordinator, and Ken Riley in the secondary.
Yes, and Herb Patera also, who works for the linebackers, is also, they feel, doing an excellent job.
First and 10 at the 35-yard line. Dickey has gone deep looking for Lofton. He beats his man, and he makes the catch at the 1-yard line. And Lofton beat a pretty good defender in Lionel Washington.
But here again, he gets a free release. You don't see it, but he gets a good release off the line of scrimmage, makes a little move to the outside, and here you see the ball is thrown just perfectly right over the top. Washington, watch the top of the screen. Watch 83. Watch Lofton go to the outside, makes him turn to the inside, and when he does that, it's all over. School is out, makes the touchdown. Beautifully thrown ball, but that's what they're doing. They're looking for field position for the big play.
So it's 1st and goal inside the 1 for the Packers. Lynn Dickey goes over for the touchdown. Well, if you want to talk about big plays, the Packers had them, and the crowd loves it. Dickey with a 34-yard pass to Lofton, but the big play perhaps on this drive was Hucklebee's 53-yard kickoff return that really gave the Packers good field position, and they lead it now 20-7. Garcia in to try the conversion with Scribner holding. 2 minutes and 15 seconds into this 3rd quarter. The Packers strike again. After a slow start, Lynn Dickey has come on big. It's 21-7 in favor of the Green Bay Packers. 21-7 after the Cardinals struck first in the 1st quarter. And Dickey, after a slow start, now has completed 10 of 14 for 153 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kicking off Garcia, Steve Bird returning it and moves it up to the 26-yard line. So the Packers striking quickly. This was the scoring drive, and of course Lofton, the big reception. He's caught 5 for 111 in the game.
Watch the replays coming up again to the big play.
Dorsey, tackle.
There you see Lofton on the outside of the screen. Washington turns his knees to the inside. He breaks to the outside, gets him turned around. The ball is thrown right over the top perfectly. It looked like it was a touchdown, but he marked it on the 1. And of course Dickey goes in for the touchdown.
Cardinals at the 27, 1st and 10. Got to play catch up now, and you talked about Lomax. Of course, he dumps it out to Anderson. He has some blockers, and Otis Anderson, still going, is down at the 35-yard line. He'll be shy of a 1st down by about 2 yards. Randy Scott making the tackle. So the thing you were talking about at halftime is the fact that Lomax has to go downfield and not so much to the flat.
They have to throw the ball downfield. Of course, on that kind of a play, that's an option screen. They either throw the ball downfield to the receiver, in that particular case, Pat Tilley, or if the linebacker goes back with him, they'll dump the ball off in the flat like they did to Anderson. But they have to get the ball downfield vertically and make big plays. They've got the capacity to do that. They have to do it.
Green is to the left. He's the big play man. Tilley to the right. 2nd and 2 at the 35. Normally a good passing down, but they keep it on the ground. Earl Farrell has the 1st down at the 39-yard line. So Farrell has the 1st down. The Cardinals, their leading rusher was Anderson with 25 yards, but he carried 11 times in the 1st half. Terry Jones and George Cumbie the tackle.
You know, the other thing is very important. They're down 21-7, and that sounds like a big score. But actually, when you analyze this, it's only 2 plays. They're 2 plays away from getting back in the game. They have to exercise good patience and do what they have to do to get the job done.
And, of course, they don't have any time problem in doing it. We have 11:19 to go in the 3rd.
All the time in the world.
Lomax on 1st and 10 to Anderson on the screen. Gets by 1 linebacker and then is tackled at the 40-yard line. Just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Mark Lee coming up from cornerback making the tackle. George Cumbie made the first contact on Otis Jerome Anderson in his 6th year out of Miami. The fans have been on him a lot in St. Louis, and you know what happens? You always are critical with the people you love the most, but when you look at the fact that he's gained over 1,000 yards in every year but the strike-shortened year, you have no complaints with him.
Oh, you can't complain about him. He's one of the great backs in the National Football League.
2nd down 8 at the 41. Cardinals trying to get back into this ball game. Packers, after a slow start, have righted themselves in solid fashion. Doug Marsh in motion.
Now the middle is open.
Lomax has Greg LaFleur, tight end, who is close to a 1st down, just short of midfield. See where they spot the ball. LaFleur, bothered by injuries last year, was an all-rookie performer with Philadelphia.
It's very important for the quarterback to have plenty of time to throw the ball and survey the defense. Watch Lomax. He has plenty of time to throw the ball. Cumbie is blitzing on the play inside, but they pick him up. It's like throwing a piece of popcorn on the battleship. They don't get to him at all. until late, but he throws the ball, the high percentage kind of a throw where he's not going to get in trouble, and they're interested basically now, it looks like, in moving the chains.
Randy Scott, Tim Lewis had made the tackle. 1st and 10 at midfield. Stump Mitchell is into the ball game as the lone setback. Number 30 gets the call. Blocking in front of him. Terry Steve, Mitchell down the sidelines. One man to beat. It's Lewis, knocks him out of bounds. Make it Mark Lee. Mark Lee knocks Stump Mitchell out of bounds. That's 2 big plays for Lewis for Stump Mitchell today. This goes for 39 yards.
And that was a counter play. Watch him take a step. Watch him take a step. Talking about Stump Mitchell. Looks like he's changing the play on the line of scrimmage. He takes a step to the right. All right, here we see it here now. Here.
Watch number 30.
See, he takes a step to the right and then goes through a big hole, carrying the ball in the wrong arm. He cannot protect himself.
1st and 10. Cardinals at the 12-yard line. Overthrown, and purposely overthrown. Tilley was the intended receiver, covered by Tim Lewis. Stump Mitchell, we were seeing him on that run as run off not only that 39-yard play, but he set up that first touchdown in the first quarter when he ran 25 yards on a fake punt play, setting up Lomax's touchdown pass to Tilley. So he's been a valuable big play performer for the Cardinals. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 12-yard line. And you're right, Hank, it doesn't take much. Big play here, big play there, and you're back in it.
Yeah, and they have the capacity to do that. They just have to execute and get it done.
Anderson, number 32, back in there for the Cardinals. 9:21 to play in the 3rd quarter. Otis gets the call. Up the middle. Anderson at the 5. And to the 3-yard line. That's what they pay him to do. Otis Anderson. It'll be 3rd down, and let's see if he has the first down. It's close. Bostic, a good block.
Watch the right tackle, Tootie Robbins, pulling on the play. And he gets through there in good shape and fights his way through the traffic and takes it down to about the 2-yard line. Anderson is big and is strong. He's 220. He's 6'2". Last year he weighed 230. He's lost 10 pounds and he feels a little quicker.
It is 3rd and less than a yard for the Cardinals. Even though it's the 3rd quarter, this is an important play.
Looks like something left.
It is left. Anderson. Touchdown for Anderson, and the Cardinals come back.
Made it look easy.
Not only was it something left, there was 6 points left.
Yeah, they changed the scoreboard, gave the scorekeeper some business.
On the St. Louis side, and of course the fans are quiet like church mice.
Yep. Changes in a hurry. Here you see the play. They cave everybody in, and he gets outside. If he gets a step outside of anybody, he's going to score, which he did. Talking about Otis Anderson. Number 32.
One of the Cardinal linemen may be shaken up. Perrin will hold for Neil O'Donoghue. Kick is no good. He misses the conversion off to the left. O'Donoghue missed a conversion, but there was a Packer penalty in the first quarter, gave him a second chance, and he made good. So that may come back to haunt him. So it's 21 to the conversion. Now we'll kick off for the Cardinals, who trail the Packers now 21 to 13. Stump Mitchell with a 39-yard run, setting up that touchdown. Otis Anderson goes for 2. Onside kick, and the Packers are right there. Alert play by the Green Bay Packers, and it was Ed West, a rookie free agent tight end from Auburn, who was off the roster and then back on the roster, and he's going to put a smile on the face of Forrest Gregg with that one when he looks at the film.
He really will. Big play. Ed West, number 49, their 3rd tight end.
So the onside kick, that's a gamble. Certainly is with 8:30 to go in the 3rd quarter, and you're down by 8 points.
See if they play action on 1st and 10 here. It looks like they're going to run out. No, there they throw.
Screen pass to Lofton. Can he get by? He does. Was tripped up, but has the first down. At the 32-yard line, Benny Perrin makes the tackle. Did a lot of after he got the ball, Hank.
They fake the toss, which is a play action. Throw a screen back to the right side. Lofton makes a good move and a good block inside by Larry McCarron, number 54. A beautiful block enables Lofton to get downfield and make a big play.
James Lofton has done everything today. He has caught 6 passes for 122 yards. That one provided a lot of work. 1st and 10 at the 33. Packers getting that onside kick. Good field position. No penalty flag down. A screen pass to the fullback Jesse Clark, and the Cardinals smell that one out well and limit Clark to only a yard. It was Curtis Greer and Kurt Allerman, the middle linebacker, making the tackle. 7.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and now E.J. Jr., who had some problems physically leaving the field. He's been playing the strong side position. Kurt Allerman is in the middle. Dave Aaron's 58, maybe in there for him. Here's Gary Ellis. Can't go anywhere thanks to David Galloway, who got an arm and wouldn't let go.
Galloway is a very active guy inside, and so far has been very impressive. Number 75.
Aarons is the linebacker in the ball game, and now he comes out of the ball game along with Kurt Allerman. And so Floyd Peters, who has really developed some good defenses, particularly defensive rushes at San Francisco and in Detroit, with the Silver Rush and the Gold Rush.
And I tell you, they have an excellent, one of the very best defensive backfield coaches in the business, in Tommy Bettis, who works with the defensive backs.
3rd and 9 at the 32. Dickey incomplete. He was going for Harlan Huckleby and all over him with Bob Harris, and now a flag comes about an hour and a half after the play.
Well, you talk about lateness. That was a great illustration of it.
Everyone was home and went to bed, and all of a sudden the official threw the flag.
Yeah, he jumped out of bed and threw the flag.
Pass interference called against the Cardinals, and obviously Harris. I think it was a pretty good call, Hank, but you wondered where the yellow flag was.
Well, I tell you what happens, in a game when you're on a sideline and that happens, the thing that really bothers you is the fact that they're undecisive. If they do it right now, then you understand. You don't question it.
Defense pass interference. That's a 1st down.
But if it's delayed action like we just saw, then of course you wonder, you scratch your head a little bit. It doesn't do any good, though. They still have the penalty. Watch the tail end of it. There you see a good shot of the pushing. No question about it. Pushing. Pass interference on the part of the defense.
And it's 1st and 10 for the Packers on the 25 following that automatic 1st down call. Here is Del Rogers carrying for the first time today, moving ahead for a couple of yards. Interesting about Rogers, he's coming back after a neck injury, and he suffered it while helping the United States Olympic women's ski team train. He likes to moonlight, doesn't he? Anyway, he was out with a neck injury all of last year, had a big rookie year 2 years ago, and he's okay now. It'll be 2nd and 7 following that 3-yard pickup. E.J. Jr. back in the game on defense for the Cardinals. Jesse Clark, and it was Duda that got him from behind. It'll be 3rd down.
Green Bay has had the last 2 times man-for-man coverage with the slot formation on the right side. And I think really when you see that, you have to take advantage of it. I'm surprised that they haven't done it on the last 2 plays. We might see it here. But it looked like the St. Louis Cardinals defense was very vulnerable to something out in front of the backs on that left side.
5:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Packers lead the Cardinals 21-13. Lynn Dickey, by the way, has hit his last 9 passes. We told you last year he started the season hitting 18 in a row. He's hit 9 straight now.
Roll out.
1 for 10. Not this time. Intended for Huckleby. Defended by the linebacker Harris. So the streak ends for Dickey, and it's 4th down. And Garcia will come in, presumably to try a field goal. Well, the Cardinal defense held. They had failed on the onside kick.
Well, I think they look like they're a lot more aggressive, and they're playing with a little bit more animation, I think. Especially so since they scored that touchdown. They're very much in this football game, and it's their responsibility. They just have to make something happen.
Garcia missed a 29-yard attempt in the first half. This will be from 38 yards, and holding is Bucky Scribner.
Watch the false step he takes if he does it again.
There it is.
Takes a little step with his right foot before he kicks.
This one's good. 1st first NFL field goal for Eddie Garcia, 38 yards out, and with 5:02 to go in the third quarter, the Packers up their lead to 24-13. Evidence of Eddie Garcia has just broken the bank. When you kick your first NFL field goal, he's in his second year out of SMU, taking Jan Stenerud's place. A lot of pressure on his shoulders, and that relieved a lot of it. This kickoff to Bird, 2 yards in the end zone, bringing it out. Bird to the 20 and tackled at the 22-yard line. Ray Krause makes the stop. Want to remind you that immediately following the conclusion of this game, CBS Sports will bring you coverage of the U.S. Open Tennis Championships. Third-round action, third-seeded Jimmy Connors against Henri Leconte, who is the last man to beat Bjorn Borg, coming up from Flushing Meadow, New York. Hank, you like tennis?
Yeah, I like tennis, but I have a hard time jumping over the net. That's the problem.
Why don't you go around the side? He said you have to jump over.
It takes too much time.
Oh. First and 10 for the Cardinals at the 23. Hank's good on second serve. 4:53 to go in the third quarter. Lomax looking deep. Second option is to Doug Marsh, his tight end, who brings it out to the 30-yard line, and the tackle by Randy Scott, the inside linebacker.
I mentioned it early, and I'll say it again. I think that Lomax really is impressive as far as staying in the pocket is concerned. He's really hanging in there tough and not jumping out of there as soon as he sees a little bit of trouble. But I still think he's got to get the ball downfield a little more.
Well, he's got Roy Green, and we haven't seen Cedric Mack, who has become the second Cardinal two-way man. Actually, Mack can play in the secondary. That's what he was drafted for, but has been moved to wide receiver. Great speed and good hands. We haven't seen him attempted.
Well, when you have lightning on the outside, well, you got to do something with the lightning and make something happen.
Second down and 3 at the 30. Winding down to 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Here's Otis Anderson. Anderson has the first down. Carries a couple of Packers with him as he gets to the 37-yard line. Tom Flynn and Terry Jones make the tackle. Terry Jones, the nose tackle, was out from the beginning last year. Suffered a torn Achilles tendon on the first play of the season against Houston and out all year. He was the starter the 2 previous seasons. Turner, the backup, was gone, and so is Byron Braggs. Keep in mind that the Packers have been playing without Ezra Johnson, who led them in quarterback sacks last year. First down at the 36 for St. Louis.
Well, look at all the room they got on the right side here, on the left corner on Mark Lee.
Lomax.
There it is.
Going to Green. He's got it at midfield. Tom Flynn hits him. That's like Hank, I guess it's one of those plays that if you really hit it right, you can go all the way on it.
Yeah, you're running inside the defensive backs. There's 1-for-1 coverage, and he's playing very soft, and you got to take advantage. I think there's about 10 or 12 times in a game where you have an opportunity to make a big play, and I think if you succeed in trying to do it 10 or 12 times, you get 3. You ought to get 3 or 4 touchdowns. You know, you ought to win the football game. But you got to take advantage of it when you see it. They did that last time.
That was a 14-yard pickup. They mark it at the 49 of Green Bay. Anderson runs into traffic, tries for the second effort, and gets about 3.5 yards. Tackle made by Mike Douglas and Tim Lewis, the second-year cornerback out of the University of Pittsburgh.
I tell you, the defense of the Green Bay Packers they're hanging in there tough, doing a good job. You see on the right side, Donnie Humphrey, number 79. You see Douglas. You see Cumbie coming into the picture. He's coming in from the inside and finally makes the play. But there's a good response, a good reaction. Their reading and reaction to the play has been very outstanding.
Anderson has carried a lot, 15 times, 46 yards for his troubles. It is second down and 8. Marsh in motion. Make it 2nd and 7. Lomax, penalty flags fly. Greg LaFleur close to the first down, and he is hit hard right at the 40-yard line. Gary Hayes, who played in Canada and was the nickelback in preseason for the Packers, but this call may go against St. Louis. Let's wait.
Holding, offense, number 63.
It's against Tootie Robbins, the right tackle.
You know, Dick, sometimes you fool yourself, even though there's double coverage, when you have great receivers on the outside. once you get by the first man, you wind up with single coverage, and so as a result, you have to test and you have to get the ball downfield in spite of that. A great illustration of that was demonstrated early in the game when Lofton went right into double coverage and came up with a big play. So, you know, those big league people are going to make big league plays. You got to get the ball to them.
So the Packers have yet to be penalized today. It's 2nd down and 17 back at the 43-yard line. Lomax needs to pick up a chunk of yards. He's got LaFleur. Looks like the same play as the one he ran before, and he almost got to the place he got before. In fact, he's within 1.5 yards of a first down. Neil Lomax with a great finish last year.
Watch again. He's got plenty of time. Good protection. Goes back into the pocket. Got a good lane to throw to. They drop off on the outside. LaFleur makes the catch and is finally knocked out of bounds. And now it's 3rd and short.
Gary Hayes and George Cumbie made the tackle. LaFleur goes out of the ball game. Doug Marsh replaces him. It is 3rd and 2 with 1:39 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 24-13, the Packers lead. Here is Stump Mitchell trying to go wide. Forget it. Mike Douglas with a terrific play, and Randy Scott also in there. But it was Douglas who made the first hit, and now you know why. The cat quick Douglas is the big play man. And by the way, he's really responded to the challenge of the backup Cliff Lewis, who did very well early in preseason.
Well, the competitive urge to succeed is very strong with Douglas, and he's a great player anyhow. He's not very large. He's 6 foot 224, but boy, is he quick. He's lightning as a linebacker.
Over 56,000 fans here at Lambeau Field. Sellouts have been the order of the day for a long time. Birdsong punting on 4th down. Going for the sidelines. Epps is there. He fields it on the 17, and he is smack out of bounds. Dave Aarons makes the play, but the Packers will come back on offense. 1st and 10 with 46 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter when we come back. Ball and leading 24-13. They're on their own 21-yard line. Paul Kaufman, who caught a touchdown pass in the first half, went to the dressing room and has not come back to action yet in this 2nd half. He remains on the sidelines. There you see him to the right, and his place taken by Henry Childs, wearing number 89. And in motion. 1st and 10 at the 21. Screens it out to Jesse Clark. Trying to move inside, and Clark is tackled at the 24. So Henry Childs, who was out 2 years. Last team he played for was the Rams. And, of course, he played for you at New Orleans.
Yes, he's an outstanding, he really is a very outstanding tight end. He has terrific hands, good speed, very good blocker. He isn't overly large, but he gets into people very quickly. And I think, you know, you won't see much of a drop-off as far as ability is concerned with Henry Childs in the game. He caught 10 touchdown passes for us in 1977 at New Orleans.
Made the Pro Bowl, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
9 seconds to go. 2nd down and 6. It was actually Lynn Dickey who suggested to the Packers that they look at him, and they did in April. Here's Harlan Huckleby trying to go wide. Nowhere to go, and he is out of bounds as the clock runs down. E.J. Jr. makes the tackle. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay with the score. The Green Bay Packers 24 and the St. Louis Cardinals 13. Along with Hank Stram, this is Dick Stockton in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where the Packers on opening day, the 64th season, lead the St. Louis Cardinals 24-13. Packers have a 3rd down and 5 on the 26.
The Cardinal defense is at a stage in this game where they have to make something happen defensively. Reduce the size of the field, get a fumble, get an interception.
He is down inside his 15-yard line by Mark Duda, who's, Hank mentioned, solid against the run, but showed what he could do when he has time to get in there.
And that's what they have to do. They have to make some big plays on defense to reduce the size of the field so they can get a better position to score.
Let's check some scores around the league right now. It's tight one in New Orleans, where the Saints lead the Falcons 21-19. Atlanta playing, of course, without William Andrews. Kansas City now lead 24-20 over Pittsburgh. Miami 35-10. Dan Marino, 5 touchdown passes for the Miami Dolphins in this game. It's 4th down, and Bucky Scribner will punt from the 1-yard line. Steve Bird is back and bobbles the kick and gets it away. Good alert play by Scribner. He saved disaster there, and the kick goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line of St. Louis. Good reaction by Bucky Scribner We'll have to see whether it's a snap or whether it was Scribner.
He needed a baseball glove for that one. It's a miracle that he got the kickoff. Fantastic play.
Boy, did he ad-lib well. Well, a saving play by Bucky Scribner, and it was a rookie, Mark Cannon, wasn't it, to snap the ball to him?
That's who it was, 6'3", 258, 11th-round draft choice in 1984 from Texas, Arlington. But he looked like that ball has some helium in it.
Cardinals 1st and 10 on the 45. They've got to start to make things happen now in the 4th quarter. Trailing, and Lomax trying to do that to Roy Green. It's overthrown. Well, he was going for the touchdown right away. Mark Lee and Tom Flynn were defending. But you got a glimpse of Roy Green's terrific speed. What did he tell us yesterday? He said, you know, I don't like to read the papers or watch the sports shows because people are talking about all those great speedsters, and I think I'm one of them.
Yeah, and he runs 9.3.
Other scores. New England over Buffalo. They've been leading all the way in that game in the 3rd quarter. Patriots, they expect to have a good year. Phil Simms, 3 touchdown passes as the Giants lead the Philadelphia Eagles. San Diego with a breather over Minnesota. A breeze, we should say. 2nd down 10 at the 45. Lomax going out to Otis Anderson. One-on-one against Mike Douglas, and Anderson goes out of bounds. A couple of more scores that we want to tell you about. In that Detroit-San Francisco game, the Lions are leading the 49ers 20-17. They're in the 3rd quarter at the Silverdome. And it's Chicago 27, Tampa Bay 7.
Boy, that's a surprise. It really is. I think Chicago's a very good team, but I thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would play much better, especially the way they played in preseason, talking about defensively.
And the Bears think that they've improved defensively.
Oh, they have. They're tough. Well, I tell you.
3rd and 8 for Lomax, trailing 24-13. High snap. Lomax settles, dumps it off to Stump Mitchell. He's going to have a 1st down, and Mitchell will settle for out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So we have had a couple of bad snaps, and we've had a couple of people compensate. Lomax right here, Hank.
Boy, that's really a terrific play. You don't really understand how tough it is to make that kind of a play and then have to throw the ball to the right guy and make a big play out of it. Stump Mitchell does a good job of running and gets the necessary yardage for the 1st down, but a terrific play by Neil Lomax.
A 16-yard gain. Lomax is 18 for 24 for 185 yards. As you pointed out, he hasn't gone for the deep one, or at least hasn't clicked on it. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line of Green Bay. Otis Anderson leaps over one defender, still going, and is tackled at the 36 by Tom Flynn. Now for an NFL Today update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Dick, it's the Chicago Bears, that team that Jimmy the Greek says is going to win the NFC this year, and it is Matsui powering over the top against the Buccaneers, and the Bears now are in solid command in Soldier Field, and the Cubs, they lead Atlanta 2-0. Dick, everything's up to date in Chi-Town right now.
Matsui, they like him inside in goal line situations, Brent, of course, and the Chicago Bears leading. That's how they got their 27th point. Right here it's 2nd and 6 at the 33-yard line. Doug Marsh in motion. Lomax going for Marsh, and he's got it at the 10-yard line. So he sent his tight end in motion, and Marsh was wide open. Markley makes the tackle, and all of a sudden the Cardinals, knocking on the Packer door, have a 1st and goal.
Great illustration again, Dick. They have to throw the ball downfield more than they have. Good protection. He steps up into the pocket. Look at, he's wide open right down the seam of the zone. Doug Marsh, he makes the catch, and of course they have the ball on the 10-yard line. But I think that kind of a play has been open a lot during the course of the afternoon, and that was the first time really that they took advantage of it.
A lot of people had doubts about him as a receiver, but he has emerged as a reliable receiver after 3 inconsistent years.
Emmett Thomas, who works with the receiver, was a great back for us at Kansas City, told me before the game that he's going to be outstanding. 1st and
10, Anderson going wide, and John Anderson is right there. Otis Anderson has not really been able to break one today, and it seems that the Packers said, look, if you do nothing else, watch Otis Anderson when he carries the ball.
Well, that's a good approach, because he's a guy that usually from a running standpoint is going to beat you, and from a containment standpoint, the Green Bay Packers have been super.
He has scored a touchdown. It is 2nd down and 9, actually 2nd and goal. Otis Anderson, who caught 54 passes That was a club record for running backs last year.
Now they got the double on the outside receivers. The tight end could be a good guy to throw to here.
Second and goal at the 9. 12:34 to go. Lomax in trouble. And they blow the whistle. He was in the grasp of the defender, Mike Douglas. And the Cardinals don't like it. They think it was a quick whistle, and that's what Lomax is telling Ben Dreith right now.
That's what's bad about the rule. When you have an athlete who plays quarterback and has great escapability skill, it seems unfair to deprive him of the opportunity to run through the grasp of somebody. Here you see it. Now Douglas gets a piece of him, and the official said he has him in the grasp and blows the whistle. But here again, a big, strong quarterback should have the opportunity to run and really express his ability.
He's big, and that's what coaches want, a big quarterback who can do just that. So a loss on the play. It'll be 3rd and goal at the 13. Cardinals trailing 24-13 really need to get something on the scoreboard out of this.
They got single coverage on the right side.
Cedric Mack, number 47, is in the game at wide receiver, and there he goes. Penalty flag is down in the end zone. Robert Brown smothered Neil Lomax, but there is a penalty.
Third flags on the play.
And this could be a big penalty. Delay of the game against St. Louis. The 30-second clock had expired. So Jim Hanifin is seeing the Cardinals go the other way. They're backing up.
You can't tell for sure. It looks like I hit him high above the shoulder pads, and that's a penalty. Should be a penalty. Evidently it was not, because they didn't call it.
They had 1st and goal, 2nd and goal at the 9. Now it's 3rd and goal at the 19-yard line. Cardinals going backwards. Lomax up the middle. Leroy Green, he's going to score. That's the kind of maturity Neil Lomax has shown in his 4-year career. When things are going against you, he comes back with a big 3rd down play for the touchdown.
The important thing, watch him step up into the pocket. Watch him here. See, he jumps back into the pocket beautifully, delivers the ball right on the money, right at the numbers, and he throws it inside. Excellent call, and he get the ball in for the touchdown. Roy Green making the reception.
O'Donohue will try the conversion. So Roy Green, who caught 14 touchdown passes last year, catches his first. O'Donohue's kick is good, and the Cardinals have come to within 24-20 of the Green Bay Packers. They have trailed except for the first score of the ball game, and we have a lot of Green, converted defensive back on the touchdown reception, 19 yards, and it's 24-20. And now O'Donohue will be kicking off to Huckleby and Rogers. It's a short kick, and Harlan Huckleby on the run at the 17-yard line is tackled at the 23-yard line. Well, tonight on CBS, pretty good menu and a great lineup. 60 minutes, one day at a time. Goodnight Beantown, followed by the Jeffersons, Alice, and Trapper John MD. That's tonight on CBS. See what the Packers do now, and Lynn Dickey has hit 10 of his last 11 passes after getting off to a slow start, 1 for 4. And he has been hot. He's got Lofton and Jefferson split to the right. Now Jefferson in motion. They're at the 27. Ellis looking for the hole, and it closes up in a hurry. Mark Duda makes the tackle.
Mark Duda in the tackle.
Dickey really has been hot, as you mentioned. You know, and I called him yesterday. I wanted to visit with him a little bit, and his little girl answered the phone. She's 4 years old, and her name is Elizabeth. She answered the phone, and I said, "Where's your daddy?" And she said, "He's at football."
He's at football.
You never know what they're going to say. I had my little moo-moo when she was just about 6 or 7. We lost the game by a kick, and after the game, she said, "Dad, how come the kicker kicked the ball so quickly?" So you never know what they're going to say.
You'd like to know that, too.
Yeah.
Second down and 9 at the 29 for the Packers. They lead 24-20 now. And here, up the middle is Clark. And right now, for an NFL Today update, let's check in once more with Brent Musburger in New York. Brent?
Dick, we've got a change in the Atlanta-New Orleans situation. The Falcons score right here. It's Steve Bartkowski to Stacey Bailey, 5 yards. They kick the extra point now, 26-21. The Falcons have the lead. Let's go back to Dick.
The Falcons are hanging tough there, Hank.
That's surprising because they're kind of a battered and bruised football team, really doing a terrific job of playing the New Orleans Saints.
3rd and 5, a swing pass out to Ellis, short of a first down, I believe, knocked out of bounds by Bob Harris. It was an old college play, a rollout and a short pass to the back.
Well, you know, the great thing about a rollout is that you move the pocket enough where the defense can't say he's always going to be in the same place, so we're going to rush for that spot. Even though he doesn't roll out a lot, if he rolls out a few times like Dickey has done, at least it puts a little bit more pressure on the quarterback, on the defense, and they don't know where to expect him to throw the ball on other occasions, and makes it more effective.
It is 4th down, and Forrest Gregg, with less than a yard, is not going to play any games now. He's going to send out Bucky Scribner to kick the ball away. He's leading 24-20, and no reason to gamble with a lot of time remaining at 10:15. You know, yes, we talked about Forrest Gregg and what kind of respect or maybe fear the players have. When we talked to him in the lobby of the Packers offices, the players were inside. They were afraid to come out and walk by him.
Yeah, it's funny, and that usually happens when he had to change.
High snap, trouble. Scribner in trouble. Throws a Gallagher premium pass, but an illegal pass receiver downfield is the obvious call. He's a quick thinker, but he threw the ball away and went for Cliff Lewis, a linebacker.
Mark Cannon, that's the second bad when he threw another elevator ball back there. It was still going up. And he made a sensational catch just to make the play again.
Yeah. You know,
boy, that's murder.
You know, they let Larry Rubens go, and they kept Cannon, the rookie, the 11th round draft pick, as you mentioned.
Offense had about 3 ineligible men downfield on that pass.
What is it? About 3, huh?
Now watch where the ball goes. There it is. You got to be Will Chamberlain back there to kick the ball with that kind of a snap. It's a miracle he got rid of the ball like he did.
You know, Hank, the good thing for the Packers is that Lewis caught it, and now the Packers at least get a chance to kick it again.
Exactly right. The other way would have been the bye-bye blues. It would have been all over.
That snap is more realistic. A good kick, a deep kick. Bird going way back. Boy, he sent him back to the 15. And Bird is hit at the 30-yard line. A 53-yard punt by Bucky Scribner gets him out of danger. Boy, he deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. The Packers at one point were leading 21-7 and 24-13. Now it's 24-20. We have a lot of time. 9:54 remaining in the ball game, and Neil Lomax has been very steady, as Hank has pointed out, and alert, matured. He's 20 of 26 for 222 yards, 2 touchdown passes and 1 interception. 1st and 10 on the 30, hits Pat Tilley out of bounds and picks up maybe about 9 yards on the play. Mark Lee knocks him out of bounds. Pat Tilley.
You know, talking about Lomax, some people have said in the past that in 1981, Lawrence Taylor on a blitz hit Lomax from the backside and disjointed the ball and really got a great shot on Lomax. And from that time on, he seemed to be a little bit antsy back in the pocket. But I don't think there's any illustration at all or demonstration of it at all here this afternoon. Boy, he's been sensational, I think, of staying in the pocket and making things happen.
2nd down and 1. Here is Stump Mitchell. Breaks one. Stump Mitchell with Flynn to beat, and he's out of bounds. Stump Mitchell is an unsung hero for the Cardinals. He got a great block from Louis Sharp, and Mitchell has a 1st down and almost went all the way for the touchdown right there and picks up 28 yards.
Terry Steve is pulling on the play, and a very good block by number 67, Louis Sharp. Boy, a good block by Terry Steve and Sharp. And of course, I had Steve at New Orleans, and he too is a terrific offensive football player at left guard.
Mitchell, look at that. 4 carries, 88 yards. 1 was on a fake punt.
Jim Hannafin, boy, what a great guy he is, and he's done a terrific job. And I don't think he gets nearly the credit that he really deserves for the kind of a job he's done at St. Louis.
1st and 10 at the 33. Otis Anderson hit immediately. Make it Earl Farrell on the play and find out what's going on in New York. Let's go to Brent Musburger with an NFL Today update. Brent?
Dick, for the Eagles right here against the Giants now. It is 3rd and 7. Ron Jaworski setting the shotgun. Gets quick going one-on-one, and he's got him. 14 yards, and now the Eagles are back within a point. 21-20. Let's go back to Dick.
All right, Brent, maybe we're in store for a good season. We've got a lot of tight ball games today, eh?
A lot of excitement.
2nd down 8 at the 31-yard line. The Cardinals in Packer territory. In motion is Roy Green. He's got Farrell out on the flat, one-on-one against Cumbie, and Cumbie hits him.
They continue to throw that option play on the right side. The option being that he can either throw the ball downfield or throw the ball to the halfback in the flat, depending on how the linebacker reacts. This time the linebacker got back there in pretty good shape, you see, and he throws the ball into the flat, and even at that, he didn't make much yardage on the play.
Robert Brown and Charles Martin come in for the Packers to beef up the line, and Estes Hood the nickelback. It is 3rd and 8 at the 31. We have 8:29 remaining. Packers have a lot of beef up there. 3rd down and 8. Lomax with some big 3rd down plays in this ball game.
Boy, look at that middle.
He's going for Tilley. Defended by Markley. 4th down.
You know, they're double covering the outside people so much of the time, and I don't want to belabor the point, and it's easy to see from up here, but that time he had a receiver on the outside, but the middle is really open because they're so concerned about trying to stop and contain the outside people.
Neil O'Donoghue is coming into the game to try a long field goal. This would be a 48-yard attempt, and I know Hank talked about the longest night that O'Donoghue experienced in that overtime game against the Giants last year. Perrin will hold, but the next week against Minnesota, he had field goals of 47 and 52.
They're all up there pretty tight. They might even fake it.
48-yard attempt. Let's see if he does it. It's long enough, and the kick is good. So O'Donoghue with a 48-yard field goal, and it is now a 24-23 ball game. Who kicks a 48-yard field goal to bring the Cardinals to within 1, but keep in mind he missed a conversion in the second half. If he had made that, we'd have a tie ball game. His kickoff is short, and Harlan Huckleby has it at the 8-yard line. Huckleby is tripped up at the 21-yard line. Well, next Sunday, National Football League action on CBS Sports. Those of you in St. Louis and Kansas City will see the Dallas Cowboys with new starting quarterback Gary Hogeboom take on the New York Giants. Now, those of you in Chicago and Detroit will see the Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons, who are playing very well against the Saints today. And all of you here in Green Bay and Milwaukee will see the Green Bay Packers square off against the Los Angeles Raiders. Remember, it all begins with the NFL Today next Sunday on CBS Sports. 1st and 10 at the 22 for Green Bay. Jefferson comes in motion. Dickey goes to Lofton, makes the catch, and may have the 1st down. I believe he does.
You know, that's a very tough catch for Lofton to make because he's 6'3", and it's very tough for him to bend and reconstruct his position and come back and make a catch on a ball that's thrown behind him. But in spite of that, he did. He got low enough, and he considered first things first, just catch the ball and fall down, and don't try to run with it prematurely and then maybe miss the ball. He's very, very good at that.
At the 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Lofton having a terrific Pro Bowl day. 7 catches for 133 yards and almost makes number 8. And that would have been his most spectacular. And he was wide open, and this is why.
Watch, they got him on a bump and run, but he doesn't get a chance to bump him. This is Washington. He falls down. He's wide open, but the ball is thrown a little bit too high. Well, that's a great picture.
Talked to Lionel Washington yesterday, and he talked about how he says, you know, I'm going against some pretty good receivers like Lofton and Jefferson, but the Packer receivers make me play better because they can beat you anytime. 2nd and 10 at the 34 now. We have 7:51 remaining in the 4th quarter. Here's Clark. The fullback brings it out to the 40-yard line. Jesse Clark. We have another scoring update for you. To find out what that's about, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Dickett was wild last year in the playoffs between Detroit and San Francisco. Same thing today. Eric Wright and Ronnie Lott are nicked. Gary Danielson goes to work from the shotgun. Leonard Thompson is all alone. A coverage mistake, and Thompson's in, and they're tied at 27. 27. Let's go.
Third down and 3 for the Packers. At the 41-yard line, their lead is 24-23. At one point, it was 21-7. Dickey under pressure, and down he goes. Back at the 32-yard line, and the Cardinals better watch the celebrating. It was Benny Perrin on a safety blitz, and Mark Duda up front, and Dickey is hobbling as he comes off the field.
You have to change the tempo and change the rhythm of Dickey, and they get good penetration with Duda. Look at number 73 coming through there in good shape, making the first blow. And that was really all he needed to rush the quarterback and knock him to the turf.
Last year, the Cardinals led the NFL with 59 sacks by their front group. Greer had 16 and Bubba Baker 13. Scribner punting on 4th down. Bird on one hop out to the 35-yard line. We have 6:33 remaining in the 4th quarter here at Lambeau Field on a cloudy, misty day. That last sack. Keep in mind that the Packers have a new backup quarterback in a rookie, Randy Wright. David Whitehurst, the 80-year veteran, was cut. Rich Campbell's number 3. Meanwhile, the Cardinals have it 1st and 10 on the 36-yard line, trailing by 1 point. Lomax with plenty of time. Goes outside. Otis Anderson. And Anderson may have a first down, but there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage. And from the looks of things, Tootie Robbins may be called for the penalty.
And that's an extension of what happens with the new blocking rule. I think, Dick, they have a chance to really extend their arms like they have, but sometimes they wind up pushing. And I think evidently
pushing him away from the quarterback.
And that's exactly what happened on the play. It's very easy when you have your arms extended to push. He pushed that time, was caught in the act.
It was Tootie Robbins, the 3rd-year right tackle from East Carolina. There's the time remaining. The Cardinals have been penalized 8 times for 69 yards. Packers just once.
They got a lot of time, and they got 3 timeouts. Both teams got a lot of time.
Cardinals only need is a field goal to take the lead now. 6:24 to go, 1st and 20, back at the 26-yard line. Here's Anderson in a crowd. Forget it. Randy Scott was the last man. Mark Murphy provided some traffic.
And John Anderson, number 59, the linebacker on that left side, stuffed it.
I want to remind you this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Green Bay Packers and the National Football League is prohibited. Under 6 minutes to go. 2nd down and 21. Cardinals scored first in this game. Jim Hannafin's team on a Lomax to Tilly pass, but it's been an uphill climb since then, and they've got 2nd and long. Marsh in motion.
Now they got single cover over here to the left side.
Lomax flush from the pocket, gets rid of it, and completes it to John Good. Our first look at the 3rd-string tight end who impressed with his pass-catching skills in preseason. A 5th-round draft pick out of Youngstown State, tackled by Mike Douglas.
And Alfonso Carricker had a good shot at him, but he was able to squeeze out of his grasp and still get rid of the football in good shape.
He got something on it, so it's 3rd down and 11 at the 35. Estes Hood, the nickelback, is in, along with the Beef brothers, Robert Brown and Charles Martin.
This kind of a play, Dick, they really have to really do a good job of pass protection. They got to throw the ball downfield. They got to get the yardage. They can't depend on dumping the ball off in the flat all the time.
All right, 3rd and 11. Lomax.
There it is.
Middle to Tilly. And Pat Tilly has a first down into Packer territory at the 45-yard line. He split the difference up the middle. He had the time and a good pattern. 20 yards to Pat Tilly.
We'll see a good picture of it here. They double cover the outside, and I've talked about that all afternoon, but the bottom of the screen, here you see him coming across. They double the outside. Look, at the middle is wide open, opens up like a big flower, and they get the ball right in the middle area there beautifully, and a first down.
Pat Tilley, for many years, was the leading receiver on the Cardinals. He has caught 6 for 60 yards today. Green in motion, 1st and 10 on the Green Bay 45.
You got a one-on-one on the right side here.
Lomax dumps it off, and unable to hold on to it is Stump Mitchell. Now, did he not see it downfield, or was the pressure too much? It's an incomplete pass.
It looked like he was a little hesitant that time. It looked like he was just getting ready to throw the ball. Tilley had a one-on-one situation on the outside. Look at him. Watch him. And the defensive back, Mark Lee, is off. Look at all the room he's got. He doesn't deliver the ball to him soon enough. He ought to just come right back into the pocket and deliver the ball and get it outside right now. Nothing fancy. Just massage the ball right out there.
3:51 on the clock. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Blitz.
And here is Love. Randy Love, the fullback, almost broke one and is close to a 1st down. Tom Flynn makes the tackle on Randy Love in his 6th year. He's been a good special teams player and a good blocker, but doesn't have the speed of Earl Farrell.
Watch the linebackers coming inside. They're blitzing on the play, and that kind of a situation is feast or famine. If they're coming north and south and you're going outside like he did that time, well, you've got a good chance to make a big play because the linebackers are eliminated from the pursuit, and you don't have anybody back there except the defensive backs.
They're going to measure to see whether Love has a 1st down. And the Cardinals do. So it's the 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the Packer 35. They're using the clock. Jim Hannafin, who's in his 5th year, was an offensive line coach under Don Coryell in St. Louis and San Diego. Forrest Gregg in his 1st year after great success at Cincinnati, and George Sefcik next to him.
George, we had at Notre Dame when I was there. It was a very fine running back.
1st and 10 at the 35. Harrell and Love are the 2 backs. Willard Harrell, number 39.
The middle is going to be there again.
Lomax.
Oh, look at Tilley.
Under pressure, throws it away. It'll be incomplete, and it was John Anderson who was trying to get the sack, and Lomax just wouldn't let him have it. But Anderson really prevented Lomax from getting anything underway.
Watch Tilley, number 83. They're double cover the outside people. The linebackers coming. Look at Tilley in the middle area, just like he was before.
Trying to come back.
But here again, you know, it's a lot easier to be looking at things and seeing things up here at the press box than it is for the quarterback on the field. That's for sure.
John Anderson trying to duck you. 2nd and 10 at the 35. 3:03 on the clock. Everyone has their full complement of timeouts. Dumps it off to Doug Marsh, the tight end. He's shy of the 1st down as he gets it to the 27-yard line. Mark Murphy makes the tackle. And looking to the sideline as the clock running is Lomax. He has thrown touchdown passes today to Tilley for 14 yards and Roy Green for 19. Anderson has scored a touchdown. O'Donohue with a 48-yard field goal has brought the Cardinals to within 1, but he missed an extra point attempt in the 2nd half. 3rd down and 2 at the 28. And the Cardinals in field goal range right now, if you consider O'Donohue's last success. Lomax going up on top. Intended for Tilley, and covering step for step was Mark Lee. And it is 4th down, and here comes O'Donohue.
That was a good call. There again, he had bump and run coverage, and he have to go for the big play. Had he thrown the ball properly on the outside, it would have been a big play. Too a little bit too long, but I think when you see that kind of a situation one-on-one, you got to try to take it.
O'Donohue now with a chance to redeem himself for missing that extra point. It looks like a 45-yard attempt with Perrin holding. He hit a 48-yard attempt a few minutes ago. This could give the Cardinals the lead again. And it's short. Kick is short. So the Packers still lead. And 2:10 show on the clock. Green Bay still leading 24-2. Swing it out to Gary Ellis, who goes out of bounds after picking up 7 yards. Bob Harris on the tackle.
It's going to be very important for Green Bay. They got to move the chains and take up as much time as they possibly can. There's a lot of time left in this game, and St. Louis is very proficient, I think, in the 2-minute offense, and they'd have a chance to come back and still win this game. There's a lot of time left, but they have to move the ball.
Now, would the Cardinals start to use some of their timeouts on defense here or not?
Well, we'll see how they move the ball. If they can stuff them, they might want to get the ball back as fast as they can and call a timeout.
They're going to get the 2-minute warning in 5 seconds. Or after this play, perhaps. 2nd down and 4. At the 33. Driving forward is Clark. And he is shy of a first down by a yard. But the clock continues to run, and now we'll have our 2-minute warning. 16 of 22 for 188, going 7 times to Lofton for 134 yards, but this may be on the ground.
Might be a good play for time for a play action.
Ellis has a first down. First down, Green Bay. And it might have been a good time for them.
Well, it's a situation where sometimes they're all ganged in there. They expect you to run the ball, and a play action will pop wide open, and you can get a big play.
The Cardinals now have to call a timeout. It would have been a different story if they had held him, but they didn't, and now the Cardinals have to use one of their timeouts on defense right now with 1:51 showing. Hannafin on the sideline. The Cardinals have always seemingly got off to a tough start early in the year. They are looking to do better in the beginning of the year. They finished strong last season, and they've next week Cardinals are playing an AFC team. Meanwhile, this is what you'll see next week. Those of you in St. Louis and Kansas City will see the Dallas Cowboys and Gary Hogaboom at the helm take on the New York Giants, who are locked in a duel with Philadelphia. Those of you watching in Chicago and Detroit will see the Lions, who are in a battle with San Francisco, travel down to Atlanta to face the Falcons. And those of you here in Wisconsin, Green Bay, Milwaukee, will see the Packers go against the world champion Los Angeles Raiders. That'll be at 2:30 Central Time. The other game's at 11:30 Central, and it all begins with the NFL Today next Sunday on CBS Sports. 1st and 10 at the 30. Lynn Dickey throwing a touchdown pass to Paul Kaufman today. On the ground, Gary Ellis.
They got to call another timeout here, Dick. Talking about the Cardinals.
Final score, the 49ers beat the Lions 30-27. Ray Wersching kicked a 22-yard field goal with 4 seconds remaining to win it for the 49ers. One other game, Chicago leading Tampa Bay 27-7. How do you like that 49er Lion game? They had that great playoff last year.
And Wersching, I'd like to know how many kicks he's made to win games for the San Francisco 49ers. He's been unbelievable.
He has been, and because I remember a game last year when Ivory Sully blocked an attempt by Wersching, and the Rams won 10-7, but more often than not, he kicks winners.
Well, he killed us a couple of times when I was coaching, and pressure kicks, but he made them.
One timeout left for St. Louis, and they may have to use it on defense. 2nd down and 6 at the 43. They cannot allow Green Bay to get another first down.
No, they can't.
Lynn Dickey with the instructions from the sideline. Cardinals will be at home at Busch Stadium next week against the Buffalo Bills.
You know, and Tim Hoffman, number 74, who started at right tackle for Craig Cook, seemingly has done a good job here this afternoon, too.
Yes, he has. And something Dickey doesn't like. I guess he wants a new football. The other one might have been wet. We have had rain on and off. I don't think it is raining right now. Temperatures have been in the 60s. Perfect football weather.
Back in the old days of the American Football League, back in 60 and 61, sometimes why some of the defensive linemen would spit tobacco juice on the ball.
Not 30, 13
And that created the problem. Kind of messy if you're a quarterback.
I guess so. They're going to make an adjustment with the clock now. They had it at 30, and Ben Dry said, let's knock it down to 13. For Lynn Dickey.
Blitz.
Penalty flag down. Ellis to the 45-yard line. That's a bad penalty for the Cardinals if it is against them, because that would make it 2nd and 1 if it is against St. Louis. Bubba Baker getting up. It is against the Cardinals. That'll hurt. That'll hurt.
Talk about bad timing as far as the Cardinals are concerned. That was really a big play and a bad play. But you have to give the Green Bay Packers credit, especially Lynn Dickey. He might have been going on a longer count to create that kind of a problem for the St. Louis Cardinals. Very good play on his part.
I think you want to credit about the Packers too, Hank, is the fact that they got off to the slow start offensively and got on track.
They really did. But again, it goes right back to what I said earlier. I think anytime you have a great quarterback like Dickey, you're not going to have a bad period of time. You might have some bad plays, but not for an extended period of time. You'll bounce back and play well.
First down for the Packers. Jesse Clark has it. And the Cardinals, now only with one timeout remaining, know that unless there's a mistake out there, they're not going to have much of a shot at winning this one. They've come close. They had a chance to take the lead on O'Donoghue's 45-yard field goal, but it was short. And Hannafan now wants to know why his team didn't call a timeout. They still haven't, which is surprising.
It really is. You got to stop that clock and get as much time on the thing on the clock as you possibly can, just to make sure that if you get the ball back, you can do something with it.
Under a minute to go. And now, Lynn Dickey calls a timeout. The Green Bay calls a timeout, so Green Bay does for Hannafan what his own team didn't do.
But here again, they had to make some kind of a mistake with the communication from the sideline, and rather than blow the play and create maybe some kind of a problem, he was wise to call a timeout, make sure he got it straight.
I guess if they would run a play and people were going all sorts of directions and you made a mistake, they'd say, why don't you call a timeout?
You're right.
So the timeout story with 55 seconds to go, and Forrest Gregg is 55 seconds away from a successful debut as head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Said it was the job he always wanted. Doesn't mind living in the fishbowl, as everyone in Green Bay does who plays for the green and gold.
He made a good point. He said that the great thing about Green Bay is the fact that they care about the Green Bay Packers every single day of the year. Other places care about their football team on game day and maybe before the game or after the game, but in Green Bay, they care about this team all the time, and it makes a significant difference.
And a good thing is that it keeps the fact in the players' minds that there is a football game on Sunday instead of waiting for Sunday.
You're right, and they have a distinct obligation. They feel very strongly about the pride and the tradition of the Green Bay Packers.
First down. Dickey is hit. Some of the Packers don't like what Leonard Smith did. Penalty flags are down, and the players are on the field. And it all started when Leonard Smith said, I don't care if he's going to kneel down. I'm going to go into him anyway. And the Packers are protecting Lynn Dickey. That's all they're trying to do out there. And Jesse Clark is shaken up. Jesse Clark, the Packers starting fullback, is down. We have 45 seconds remaining. And a lot of finger pointing out there. Curtis Greer, among others. Clark is hurt meanwhile. Del Rogers is going to replace him. Clark comes off. Now let's see what happened when Dickey just tried the chicken kneel back there. Huh?
Yeah, there he is. He tries the flop play. He goes down. He got a helmet in the back. And Dickey falls on Jesse Clark. And he's the one that really created the problem for Jesse Clark.
On both teams. Offset.
Personal fouls on both teams nullify each other. Hannafan looking at the scoreboard and knows that unless something out of the ordinary happens, Green Bay may survive in this one, leading 24-23. Clark, by the way, scored a touchdown. It was the tying touchdown in the second quarter.
Boy, this is when it's murder, being on the sideline like Jim Hannafan here. He's trying desperately to somehow, some way get the ball back so he has another shot at winning this football game. But to think that you're going to wind up, if it happens, losing your opener because of a missed extra point, boy, that's tough.
And it happened in the third quarter when it was 21-7 Green Bay. And Otis Anderson scored from 2 yards out. O'Donohue missed the extra point, and it was 21-13. The penalties do stop the clock. That's one thing that does happen. 45 seconds remain. He goes down again, does Dickey. Neil O'Donohue, who missed the conversion, but he did make good on a 48-yard field goal to bring the Cardinals to within one, then had a chance from 45 yards out to put St. Louis in front. Couldn't do it. Cardinals call their last timeout with 41 seconds to go. Once again next Sunday, we want to remind you, because we have 3 separate audiences watching this game, the NFL Today starts it off, of course, with Brent and the gang. Those of you in the Missouri area watching this ball game will see the Dallas Cowboys take on the New York Giants. If you're watching in Chicago and Detroit, you know you got the Lions and the Atlanta Falcons next week. And the Falcons playing without William Andrews, but giving the Saints all they can handle. Lions losing to San Francisco by Wersching's field goal today. And all of you here in Green Bay, Milwaukee will see Forrest Gregg and the Packers square off against the LA Raiders. Cardinals are out of timeouts. Now the Cardinals may get one last chance as a result of the clock being stopped by a Packer timeout and the double penalty. It is 2nd down and 12. But not likely. I tell you, they're really bringing those guys together around Hank after Dickey goes down there, but the crowd can sense
it's over.
That they're going to hang on. Well, one guy never loses the game. We ought to say that too, huh?
Well, that's probably right, but in this particular case, when you miss an extra point, it winds up, that's the difference in the game.
Well, they were down 21-7, so Hannafin's team came back. And the Green Bay Packers and Forrest Gregg, in his debut as a head coach in Green Bay.